Flodesk emails get 17% more visibility than industry average. So that's technically on their website as you go to flodesk.com. So this is something that you can see on the homepage, and I wanted to shout out Flodesk. I'm a Flodesk partner, and I'm excited to be here with you guys today, sharing some amazing details and links and topics that we can definitely share today. And if you are thinking about using Flodesk or being part of Flodesk or trying to understand what this is about, I have been looking at different email marketing platforms for a while, and there are many options which are great. But when you start considering the attention of creating value and actually building on top of that from a technical standpoint, everything changes. I'll put the link in the chat for anyone that wants to use Flodesk and be a partner, specifically using it as an email marketing platform, specifically to send out emails, schedule automatically, create workflows, add it to your website. You can even create checkouts, connect to your Stripe, and also have paid marketing. And also I can actually call it paid newsletters, which would be really nice to have within your own email marketing portfolio. You wouldn't have to go outside and get a third-party platform, so everything is all within, and it makes sense. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. There we go, I found it. So I'm going to put the link, there we go. So the link is in the chat. For anyone that wants to use Flodesk or try it out, you get 25% off for your first year using my link. You can go to partners.flodesk.com/we-don't-play, and that's all one word. And when you do that, you can sign up with your work email address, your business email address, the email address that you want to send emails to. If it's you and it's your work email address, so if it's like a.abc.com, then that's where you want to have your domain for this platform. Tolu, good evening. Say good evening, Favour. Trust you are keeping well. Yes, thank you for being here. Excited to be here with you guys today. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask. The room is open. The floor is open. We're going to be covering this today. And why I'm even bringing this up is because I've talked about Flodesk before, and I don't talk about it much, but the times that I do, I like to make sure I cover everything so that when I come back the next time, I'm just making sure that it's more, I would say, more robust for you to have a better understanding of the total idea of what it actually is. So when I look at it from a long-term perspective, you can see that Flodesk is very cost-effective. That's one thing that I have seen, and I'll just give you some feedback based on how it's been for me back then. So back in 2019, let's go back real quick. So back in 2019, I got to know about Flodesk. How did I get to know about Flodesk? It was because I was featuring a guest, and I still feature guests. So shout out to all the guests on the We Don't Play podcast show. I appreciate each and every one of you, both who have been on the show and who are also about to be on the show. It's a great time on WeDon'tPlayPodcast.com. And if you want to know more about that, click the link at the top. If you want AI, SEO, marketing services and resources, click this link and save it. Add it to your browser, bookmark it. That's where you'll have access to all my details, whether you want to join the AI, SEO newsletter, or you want to book a call with me for 30 minutes and have a discovery call so we can talk about your business, and I'll give you a 5-minute audit via video link, and you'll be able to watch it before we get on our scheduled call on Zoom. Or if you want to watch or listen to podcasts, it's right there, and connect with us. So this is something that I'm doing, and I'm connecting with people, which has helped me build and also understand exactly how to connect to people long term. And using Flodesk is one great platform. Hey Letitia, Letitia, thank you for being here. Thank you, Anna, for being here. Appreciate you too, and everyone as well that's coming in the room. So when you look at Flodesk and you look at the open rates and the click rates, it's a great place to be, because when I got to know about Flodesk in 2019, I got to understand the value of what it takes and what it means to actually have structure on your website that is also connected to an email service provider that is also within a system that can allow you to actually have compliance and actually help your business grow. Because these platforms, you're just sending emails, but you may be having a high risk email address. How do you know? There's a way you can find out. Go to nslookup.io. That's nslookup.io, and put in your domain. And then on the right side, you're going to see your domain health. It's going to tell you whether your risk is low, risk is medium, or your risk is high. That's going to be a free report card for you to see. That way you'll be able to really know what you're using. It's important to understand these things, because that's how you're going to get better open rates, better structure. And how I've even seen that for myself too, welcome ZZ, is I've seen this completely different from other platforms, because I got to know, and what really kept me with Flodesk is that since 2019 is because they partnered and also have their systems with Amazon, and specifically Amazon SES. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but Amazon SES stands for Amazon Simple Email Service. So they have a very strong simple email service system backed up by Amazon servers, which means that when you send emails, you're going to have fast delivery, because Amazon is big on speed. Amazon is big on convenience. Amazon is big on quality, assurance, all the above. So even now, I believe with Amazon, they just made some news, and it's not everywhere yet, but Amazon is starting to do 1 hour deliveries. It's about to be insane. I'm like, what? And for Prime users, so for Amazon Prime. So that's happening, right? So if you think about all these different things and you want to think about where it's coming from, it tells you that there's a good platform that you can bank on. And most times people purchase email marketing platforms because of how much it costs. But did you know that it will cost you more in the long run, and it will actually cost you more overhead in the long run too? Because if you use a platform and that platform is going to charge you, let's say $10 a month, and then you now increase your list by 10x, and now you're charged $100 a month, and then you do it again, and now it's $1,000 a month. Before you know it, you're spending $12,000 a year on email marketing, when you could have just spent less than $300 a year for the same thing. So if you look at it, you're like, what? I can save this much? Yeah, it's possible. We have a client, he was on, and he has tens of thousands of subscribers because he has a massage and spa business in New York. And when he got to know about what we do, we got to connect. Great connecting with him, and we've been working together for about 2 years now. He's a great guy. And what happened was that he was sending emails through Constant Contact, which is where I used to be on. Before Constant Contact, I was on Mailchimp. So it was Mailchimp, Constant Contact, and then Flodesk. So I was moving from those two, and I knew about the others, but when it came to me using it specifically, those were the three that I was able to go through. So that way I was able to know, okay, this is what I need to do, and this is what's happening, these are the costs, and I got to understand the whole setup. So when I joined Flodesk, I said, this is dope, because at the time, it was $19 a month. Just imagine you're paying $19 a month for unlimited emails, unlimited subscribers, unlimited workflows. Those are things that you pay for by the unit, a la carte, by bundles, by pricing structure. whatever it is. But imagine you're paying $19 a month for 12 months in a year when somebody else is paying $12,000 a year for the same tools. Houseway, that's $228 a year. So if you ask me, what do you want to do? Do you want to save money, or do you want to just spend it? Do you want to know better how you can save? Because when I do this, I'm not just saying this that, oh, come to Flodesk. I'm not telling anybody to say Flodesk is number one or number two, number three. Flodesk is based on if you like the system, if it works for you, and if it's saving you money, if it's doing the job, if it's getting the results, and it's actually helping your business grow, then it is helping you win. One thing I even realized with Flodesk that actually made me excited, this is something that I'll geek out on a little bit, but I'll tell you what this really means if you really think about Flodesk long term, because not every platform does this. And if they do, I would love to know the ones that you've seen. Now with Flodesk, they have a section that's called checkouts, right? And under checkouts is where I was saying you can have ebooks, you can download, you can have paid subscription, paid newsletters, you connect it to your Stripe. So you even have like a list of email contacts that actually pay. So you can actually see, oh, I can create segments, and it's really, really nice, right? So I looked at checkouts and I said, okay, let me create a course that's going to allow me to have that layout. So I put it together, and it's a live course. So it's not something that is pre-recorded. So I put it together, and then I said, okay, let me test it out and see where this actually goes. What happened was that the next thing I realized, a month after I set it up, I got an email from, I believe it was Ahrefs, where they send you the details on your backlinks and everything. And I now looked at it again, and I now went to the site to now look at the actual website to see what's being tagged. Come to find out that Flodesk, because I linked to Flodesk, like, you know, on the landing page, how people just go to a landing page, you highlight a text, you hyperlink it, you put your domain, you put your website, you hit enter, and now somebody can click on the button, someone can click on the link. That's exactly what I did. Now on Flodesk, I did that, and I added the link to my website. So that's where people will click through to if they want to get more resources, more information about what they want to make an investment in. Now, what happens is that link that I put on the copy on the Flodesk checkout section is what ended up being as a backlink, which actually gave me a backlink from my own email address, from my own email platform, my own email CRM, customer service, I'll say customer relationship management service tool, because it's a service tool. You're serving people, you're sending emails, you're being very careful, you're proofreading, you're checking your blocks, you're checking your links. You don't want to send an email with the 404 error. So these are things that you're doing as of service. And then you're thinking about email service providers. So imagine you're serving different servers. Like, think about how much serving you're doing everywhere on the web servers. So when you start thinking about this long term, it changes everything. So you're able to do it in a much better way. Tolu, you have a question? You said, glad to be here. I have got a Flodesk account. Oh, that's great. I've started using it yet. I would like to know more, please. Would you say it's a more powerful tool like Klaviyo, Mailchimp? Great question. Klaviyo and Mailchimp are good. Those are platforms that are good, especially like Klaviyo is good with SMS marketing as well, for those who want to use SMS and email, but not everybody does that either. But yes, that's also a good option. Mailchimp is good. It's a good platform. HaloNet is a good platform. It's a good place. But for me, I look at Mailchimp differently, because with Mailchimp, you're going to have to think about the volume. You're going to think about your content, think about your workflows, think about how things are scheduled. There's a lot of things, because it has its own way and its own build. But for me, seeing all these platforms, Flodesk has won completely, because I'm able to really deeply understand my audience to the point where I can tell you, this is the unsubscribe rate, this is the spam rate, this is the open rate, this is the click-through rate, this is the click rate, this is my average, this is what time in the morning they wake up, this is what time they read, this is how active they are, this is the percentage of people who click through 90% of the time. It's easy for me to understand it. So using Flodesk has changed entirely for me, because I get a backlink. Who doesn't want a backlink? I get a backlink from a platform that I'm using in the checkout. And now I'm sending that as well to my website. And then my website is giving Flodesk a backlink, and Flodesk is giving my website a backlink. Do you know what that is? That's why I said I was gonna geek out. Thank you, ZZ. Appreciate it. If you really hear what I said and you know how it's done, you'll be like, whoa, okay, now it makes sense. Because you can't do that on Mailchimp and get a backlink. You won't see that. You may, but it's going to be different. I was just talking to a company and I'm excited and I can't wait to share this with you. God willing, when it's out, I'll let you guys know. I got a feature and I'm going to be on a platform and they're going to be doing all the editorial details and it's going to be featured for 2026. So I'm excited. And I was just talking to the company and I was talking to the lady and I asked the question. I was like, is this company going to have a do follow or no follow backlink? Because sometimes when you get featured on magazines, on publications, you get excited and they won't tell you what's happening. So she literally stepped into the chat and she was like, yeah, thanks for the question. This is technical. This is what's happening. And this is how it's done. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. That makes sense. But it's still going to happen this way. And I was like, this is interesting. So me knowing that information by me asking, because I showed them and they know that I'm technical with SEO, they were able to even give me technical responses. It wasn't just a blanket answer like, oh yeah, we do this because of that. They actually went deep and I was like, these are the policies. Okay, this is something that they've just updated in their statement. So I'm like, okay, makes sense. So understanding these things allows you to know how to even get published and how to publicly get a do follow backlink, which is coming from Flodesk, or a do follow or a no follow backlink from a source that you can actually get cited from, which could actually be either or dependent on how it actually flows. So this is something I want us to talk about for sure as well. So thank you so much for the love, DZ. Appreciate you. What's up, Tolu? We'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts on your platforms and what's coming to you and what do you want to use email marketing for?
Oh, hello there. Good evening. I'm here based in London. Thank you for having me on. I've always enjoyed your rooms, very informative, and sometimes a bit on the technical side as well, but I know that, yes, I'll catch up. But yeah, thank you very much for bringing me on. This tool, Flodesk, when I saw the notification, I had to just jump in because I've always had the account since last year before they changed the pricing. Because there was a time they had this promotion out that they were saying that for a certain amount, I think $64, you have unlimited subscribers and all that. So I jumped on because, as it is, I've always wanted to have an email marketing system, but Mailchimp is coming at you, Clearview is coming at you, all of this other stuff. And there was a time I was very, very confused and I just didn't know what to do. But when I saw this, I thought, okay, this kind of looks simple enough, and plus the fact that, they had this offer going on till November last year. So, okay, you know what, I might not be ready yet, totally, but I'm going to jump on it, hoping that maybe at a later date, I can then just go on YouTube, maybe learn it and start using it. Well, I still haven't, but I'm hoping that hearing from you today and maybe from the others, will kind of like give me that push to actually go for it. And by the way, what I do is I'm an illustrator and I publish children's books. So, and I'm hoping that once I get my website running and everything, I actually want to use that to build my emailing list. So any information I can get from you and others today would be very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Tolu. Great points right there. Great points. So the first thing I wanted to share with you and also to the room as well, I put a link in the chat, and the link is university.flodesk.com. And that is a link you can access, and they've created a whole university where you can learn the whole platform inside out and go through the course for free so that you can become a master in this. I, for one, love to test things out and go through everything. So I literally got my hands dirty, got into the platform, understood how things work, test things out, break things, make things back up again. So just I'm able to understand the platform. But this link will help you to know how to get through everything, how to set up your workflows. And I send it to our clients, and they get it. I send it to people that are listening. It's free. So, freely given, freely give. So it's now when it comes to building the strategy, incorporating it into the website, making sure it's compliant. It's also at a low risk. We're doing a lot of technical setups. That's where that implementation and strategy comes in, where we now have consultations and we have workflows. So it's different, but it definitely makes sense, because when you were mentioning it too on books, that's a great place where you can be able to have setup. People can sign up on your website, they sign up to your workflow, they sign up before you know it, they're in your email list, and they're not leaving, because they're getting clean emails. They're getting more visibility. It's in the inbox. And even Flodesk, when you go to flodesk.com, that's the website. And I put my link in the chat for y'all. If you guys scroll to the very top of the chat, you will see my link so that you can get a link today. Go to partners.flodesk.com/we don't play. And once you click on the link, you will see it there. And you can get 25% off your first year on the platform. And you're not going to spend a lot of money. Trust me, you're going to spend at least less than anywhere between $200 to $400 a year if you pay it. And it may not even hit 400. It's probably going to be $298 or something like that. So with my link, it will give you access to that entirely. So you get 17% more visibility than industry average. That's a big deal, because the industry average, if you really go online and check and do your research and see what's happening out there, visibility usually ranks, especially with Flodesk right now, from what they've said, on their website, from what even AI has also put out, and what they've also gathered from the help desk or help center that they have, is usually ranking at a very large stretch. When you think about the timeline, it literally ranks on an average basis of anywhere between 17%, which is higher than the industry average, with the potential to reach about 200%. You know what that means? It tells you that your content, your website, your traffic, your brand, your domain is going to be sustained, and it's also going to have a high regard. Not only that, it's also because the technical setup within your DNS, which is a domain name server, it's where all your records are for your website to be active. Those are the records that have to all function together. It's like with your body, you need to have your heart, you need to have your brain, you have to have your hands, you have to have your feet, you have to have everything in motion. So it's the same thing with the DNS. So there are different records in there. And some of the records are also pertaining to your emails. So when you're sending out emails, there's some type of records that you have to add to your email DNS, because if you don't have it in your mailbox and you send an email, it might bounce, it might get to the spam, it might get blocked, it might be blacklisted. So you don't want to have those defects, because it's going to hurt you in the process when you're trying to figure it out. When a platform like Flodesk gives you everything, and you have a very easy setup, and it's easy for you to work through, so you don't even have to crack through any codes. All you have to do is just go through the process, and that's done. You can either do it on your own, or you can do it with us when we work with you and we help you get it set up. Either way, you get it done, and you now incorporate that to your website, and you start realizing that you start getting a lot of traffic to your web pages, because you start creating forms, you start creating content, and you start building them out on a consistent basis. So that's where I see a lot of visibility that can come in for you, and you can actually see that long term. Like on my website, I've seen about 103,000. Flodesk tells me right now it's about 103,818 visitors. That's how many people see my web, that pop up. So imagine those number of people that are seeing that just on average. Those are visitors only. So imagine that happening consistently, and that somebody keeps coming back, they see it, and then when they've signed up, they don't see it again. Because there are some platforms that if you put the code on the website and you put the pop-up, even though I've signed up today, I can come back tomorrow and I'll still get that same pop-up. So it doesn't even recognize that I've left my information with you. It's like me saying, hey, what's your number? Okay, you give me your number. And then tomorrow I come and ask you, hey, what's your number? Then you give me your number. Then the next day I come and ask you, hey, what's your number? Before you know, you'll be like, did I give you my number twice already? So that's the same thing that's happening. There's some platforms that don't tell you, okay, you've given me your details, you don't have to do this again. That's smart intelligence that is already incorporated into the platform. There's some platforms that don't do that. So I've seen different platforms do different things because different clients have different customer relationship management tools. So this is not just one size fits all. It depends on what you're using and how you're actually using it as well. So Tolu, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that because you also said, yes, you're right. And you said, wow, too. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Favour. Wow. I'm really, really surprised by the numbers. Well, and like I said in the chat, I could use that, in terms of my work being exposed to that number of people, So I'm glad that I didn't sign up the account because, like I said, I registered last November and I'm still yet to use it. Even early this month, I was thinking maybe I should just cancel it, and then wait till I'm really ready. Maybe I'll just go on to one of these like Clearview or something. But like I said, I'm glad that you brought this topic up. But the question, I've got a question which is not technical. Is Flodesk one of your primary tools? Or do you use this, or do you use this in conjunction with other tools?
And for other tools, you mean for email marketing?
Yeah, for email marketing and all that. Yeah.
Flodesk, and I've only been using Flodesk since 2019 because of the whole setup, and that's how I've been able to build it ever since then.
It's interesting. Wow. I mean, because for somebody of your wealth of knowledge, because I know you are an expert when it comes to email marketing and everything to do with, acquisition of customers. To hear that from you, I'm so glad, that I actually came across that software because, like, I was in two minds. I wasn't sure. I was like, well, is it robust enough? Is it like Mailchimp, like the power tools like Clearview and all that? And I guess a tool is a tool. Is what you make use of it. At the end of the day, it's not about spending a lot of money on something that is complicated and everything. Well, even the simple tools, can be as effective as the major big players out there. So thank you very much for that. For that endorsement.
You're welcome. You got me thinking, Tolu, about in the UK. How is it there, and what's the tool? What's the tool of choice?
Yeah, Clearview is a power player, and Mailchimp. And amongst my friends and colleagues and all that, they're always like, oh, go for Mailchimp. That has always been. Sometimes when I say I've got Flodesk, they're like, Flow what? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, go and use Mailchimp. That you're better off and all that. And like I said, early this month, I was like, well, maybe I should just follow what they told me, just forget about it and just maybe sign up for these other ones. But thank you for the link that you sent regarding the university. I'm going to have a look at that. So yeah, it's more of Mailchimp. that we tend to use a lot here, and yeah. And Clearview also comes up every once in a while. But I think at the end of the day, it just depends on how much you pay. The affordability, really.
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I'm a Flodesk partner, and me listening to this is actually interesting because it now tells me like how is the market, and this is a platform that was made by two women in Silicon Valley in
Yes.
2018, and I was like, this is very huge. Like you don't see this every day, and I love to see that. So that's what made me also say, yeah, why not? I would love to support.
Yeah, you're right, actually, because even for me as well, it was like, wow, okay, two ladies, are they really serious with it? Is this a power tool? But I think, like I said, when last year, I've always been on this subject, as in email marketing, trying to get subscribers and all that. And the thing there, right, is when you don't have somebody to take you by the hand to lead you, and then everything is just coming at you on the internet. You go to the business show. We have this show in London that happens, I think, in November. It's called the Business Show. So it's kind of like an event where all these big players, logistics and the logistics sector, email marketing, anything to do with delivery, online, web stuff, they all come there, and you see all their stands like Clearview and Mailchimp and all of them having these big stands and structures and everything, and you're like, oh, okay. Here we are again every year. You see these people, you're like, I'm of two minds. Should I go for Clearview? Should I? But then again, all the things that they tell you that they share are good. Are like, when you hear it, you're like, this would be useful for my business. But then again, when it comes to the pricing, you now find out that if you select a particular tier, okay, it might sound affordable, but by the time you look down the details and everything, you now find out that there's such a limit, as in maybe they say, up to 1,000 subscribers, that if you then go above that threshold, then it's going to cost you more. So I've always kind of like been getting that, and I've been thrown into that sort of like sea of confusion as to what to do. But when I saw this Flodesk thing, and I think, like you said, it was just like the two women. I don't even know how I got to know about that. I think it just popped up or something, on my system, and I just said, it's worth checking out, and they had that offer going on in November. I just said, okay, you know what, I'm just going to latch onto this one, and let's see where it takes me. At least I can always use it, and then after some time, if it's not of any benefit to me, I can always sign off, but yeah, I'm glad I'm still on it, and thank God for today, or else I'm pretty sure maybe within the next few days I would have just said, you know what, hey, Flodesk, thank you, bye. Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually shocked. Thank you, Tolu. This is so good to hear, because I talk about Flodesk, and for me, whenever I do things marketing wise, I always like to go against the grain, where I would want to know what else can I use to get something better. Is it white bread, brown bread, how can green apples, red apples, there's always going to be something that you can also see and know, okay, how does this go and what's the difference and why, just being in that know-how, because the more you know, the more you don't know. So I learned about Flodesk from, shout out to Emily Myrick. She came on my podcast show in 2020, around that time, and she was talking about it, and she gave me her affiliate link. And this was the time it was $19 a month, unlimited. And I was like, what? I said, yeah, this is definitely something I want to jump on. And it was so early. Not everybody was talking about it. This was before COVID. So I was like, this is early phase. And I said, yeah, this is something I'm definitely going to check into. And when I looked at the setup, I looked at the technical flow, I said, yeah, these guys, they know what they're doing. And they did it so well to the point where now it's a whole community. They just launched something today as well. You can actually put an expiration now on a workflow, which is really cool. And you can also do smart workflows, which they actually introduced not too long ago. So they're doing a lot of stuff in there. You can do countdowns, you can create polls, you can bring your YouTube videos into the platform and people can watch your videos on YouTube in your email. So instead of just clicking the link to YouTube, there's a thumbnail that they can actually see from the email that they can click through. So you're getting more discovery, you're getting more visibility, you're getting more activity, you're getting more clicks, and you're getting more recognition. And on top of that, you're improving your domain reputation too. So when you're using Flodesk, you're not just using it to send emails, you're also using it to create domain authority, which is why you're going to be showing up on Google, on Microsoft Bing, on Yandex, on all these platforms, and you're also verified. If you're sending emails and you're having open rates that are to the roof, that shows that you also have content that people actually love to listen to watch, to read. And that takes time, it takes trust. And that trust, when you're able to build it on a platform like this, then you can do so well because you can gain more activities over time. And you're not spending money either. You're not wasting money either. You're creating connections and you're building that over time. So it's really good that you said that because, in the US here, Mailchimp is big. There are other platforms. There's Kit, which was ConvertKit. There was Sending Blue now, which is now Brevo. There's so many platforms out there. I've been seeing what they've rebranded into and out from. It's a lot. So it gets very technical when people don't know what to choose. But when you're able to now sit back and ask, okay, what are the costs? How much am I going to save? How much am I going to impact the people I'm going to be with? Am I creating content and am I doing it the right way? Then it definitely changes everything. And that's where everything just begins and ends. I found the link, guys. There's the link. Boom. That's the link in the chat. That link will take you to my episode. I had that episode July 1st, 2020. And that's when I talked to her about it. And that's how I got to know. And we're on LinkedIn. And, the rest is history. So you just never know. A word is enough for the wise. You've heard that before somewhere. So it's important. Yes, Tolu, we'd love to hear from you too.
Yeah, wow. That is really amazing. That is really amazing coming from you. Because as you were talking, I was like, maybe I should ask Favour how much Flodesk paid him. Maybe to be saying all this, because like I said, I've been in your rooms so many times, and the wealth of knowledge, and skills, and the content that you share with us, every time is like really mind-boggling. That me hearing you talk about Flodesk this way, I'm like, is this kind of like a paid advert, or has it been paid some millions, or what?
Oh,
To say all the
no.
same.
No, definitely not. I would be honest, give you guys full disclaimer. They didn't pay me. They didn't tell me, Favor, do this and we're going to do that. There's nothing in that regard. I am already a Flodesk partner. I'm already in there as a partner. And what that means is I'm able to share information and connect with people and also share my link. And also, like, everybody has an affiliate link somewhere. So for us, it's more community based and I have an actual link. So that link allows you, I put the link in the chat and that link will now take you to my direct setup. So that way you can now start Flodesk with 25% off for your first year. And then when you set it up and you have everything in place, now at least you're able to use Flodesk and start. That way you can connect and build, your own roadmap. So what I also do majorly is whenever we onboard clients, whenever we connect with businesses, I always recommend Flodesk and I always ask what they're currently using. So some may want to switch, some may not want to switch, some don't have to switch. So it's not a mandatory switch. It's just based on preference and what the actual outcome of the goal would be, as opposed to what is currently happening. So they don't pay me for it. it, but there's something that I've actually talked about with them, which I'm planning to. So now that you're even mentioning Tolu, then this might even happen. And when it does, I'll be the first to come and tell you, because I've mentioned it to them years ago. And I mentioned that what they're doing is great. And I want to also bring them to my podcast and sponsor the show so that they can also let more people know about it. And I'm also very big with billboards when it comes to out of home billboards, and also grocery stores, charging stations, pharmacies, airports. There are ways to be on those digital screens, and that's going to be a lot of, I can say, guerrilla marketing in a way. So that's what I'm looking into, to be able to maximize that with them and help them. So me just talking about this right now is so that people get to know about it, and then I'm going to let them know, hey, this is what the community is saying, this is what people are saying, especially like what you said about the UK. I don't know if they know about that, or if they even think about that. But if they don't, these are opportunities that they can get into, where Mailchimp and Klaviyo are their top, I would say, benchmark competitors in the market if you look at the market share. So when you start thinking about these things, long-term goals, businesses not knowing what platform to choose, I'm here just being a beacon of light to help people and just shine the light, and somebody will find it. And if you find it, great. If you don't, somehow you will. So that's how I'm able to be here and connect with people. So I'm going to be doing more rooms like this, and I wanted to kick it off like this. And this isn't my first room about Flodesk. I talked about it before they closed out November 28th last year, before they stopped their unlimited plans. So I talked about it, and I was like, guys, get on. So the people who have gotten on, they've done so well. There are clients we've worked with back in 2020 that still use that app today, and they've saved so much money, and they have hundreds of thousands of people on their list. So it just depends on what you really want and how you want to get out of what you put in. So that's why I mentioned that, Tolu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Favour, and that's really, really great. And I think you should tell them to look into the UK. I kind of like in their whole approach, look and feel like when you go onto Apple's website, nice, clean, neat, website. And from what I've heard from you so far, it looks like there's a lot happening under the hood. So it's not like, okay, it's all sort of like simple and everything, but yeah, it's simple, but also robust as well. So I'm actually glad that I didn't give up, on Flodesk. And even from what you've shared so far this evening, I'm just raring to go. I've just got the university on. I'll be going through the videos one by one. So yeah, it will worth their while, to look into UK, because like I said earlier, we have a lot of solutions out there. Everybody's promising this and that and everything. You see all the sweet part, and when you start digging in, then you start reading the small print, then you now look at it and like, wow, okay, there's much more involved, everything. Maybe in terms of pricing or the technical bit about it, because I've always wanted two things for me: something affordable and something easy enough for me to quickly grasp and maneuver my way around its environment. And the way I look at Flodesk, and which is why I jumped on it without actually giving it that much thought, because like I said, the look and feel of it just had something sort of like homely and simple to it. So hence the reason why I just said, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. So yes, I took on the unlimited as well. So yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Tolu, and welcome to Flodesk, and I'm glad that you're enjoying. I'll definitely let them know and share it with them, because we normally also meet the founders, we also meet the team, we have a Slack group as well that we connect, so it's very, very active. So I'll definitely make sure that I make that connection. And let them know. Thank you for that, because these are things I don't know. That's why I get to learn from you and just hear and get to know what's happening and what's out there and what's really, really going on. I can only imagine what's going on in Africa, what's going on in parts of the world, in West Africa, South Africa, North Africa, East Africa. So what are they using? I don't know all of that. I may know some, but it's very important to know these things so that you're able to now know what people are getting used to, what they're learning, what they're building, and how they're spending their time. Because a lot of people spend emails and send out emails, and just imagine if the email platform you're using is what is actually hurting your conversions. Not that the platform is wrong, but the technical build in itself is not to the point where it can be at a comparative advantage. So that's where you actually, have to compare and ask yourself, where are we looking at this from the long-term perspective, and what are we really setting ourselves for when we look at the top results. I did some studies, and I wanted to share this with you guys too, because I love to do research. So the more I talk about something, please do your research too. Tolu says you can be their world rep. Amen. I actually believe that. That would be a big one. I really believe that. Appreciate you, Tolu. I put a link in the chat for y'all to check out, and it's from Motor Intelligence, and they did a study between 2020 through 2031. Right now we're in 2026, and the market size is 13.72 billion. And according to Forbes, 6 days ago, they made some stats which were keyed in. I'm sure this was an update that they did on their page, but from 2024, they had some marketing stats that said there were about 4.48 billion email users worldwide, which technically means that that's over half of the world population, if we're about 8.2 billion today. So if we're looking at the market size in 2026 at 13.72 billion, and the market size by 2031 at 22.93 billion, the growth rate is about 10.82%. And their fastest growing market is, or rather within email marketing in large spends or in large capacity, when I look at the macro, is Asia Pacific. And then the largest market is in North America. Then market concentration is medium, and the major players are Mailchimp, Constant Contact, which are the two platforms I mentioned earlier. Then there's Salesforce, there is ActiveCampaign, and there's Klaviyo. Flodesk needs to be on this list too, because they're businesses that would really benefit from Flodesk, and they even have up to 25,000 subscribers now, because they've put caps on different levels. And if you have up to 25,000 subscribers, you can pay a certain amount, which honestly isn't a really bad deal at all, because when you look at what you're paying unlimited to other platforms, it could actually be interestingly higher than what it would cost you on the longer side. So right now I'm looking at their site. Yeah, they still kept that $19 a month. So $19 a month for up to 1,000 subscribers. And then if you now increase that to, let's say, 25,000 subscribers, you're paying about $149 a month compared to what you'd be paying on other platforms. So if you look at where it goes up to, you now ask yourself, what are you really getting into? What are you paying for? For me, since I've been there since, I get unlimited, right? And if there's a way I can find, I don't know, it would be so dope I don't know if it happens. If it does, I'll check for sure, because imagine if you're unlimited and then you grandfather somebody in because they've come through from you and they have unlimited on their accounts, like the way Tolu, you have unlimited on your account. So you don't have a maximum number of subscribers, you have unlimited. It's like a faucet, it just keeps going. So doing that is allowing you to be at liberty to be able to send emails at large capacity. You can have up to 10 million subscribers and you'll still be paying $19 a month or $64 a month or less than $300 a year. That's not going to change. So when you think about that type of scaling through 2031 with the market size and the market share we have today, it's a whole different ballgame. So when you start thinking about emails, how people say that for every dollar you spend, you get $40 back with email marketing, it's true. Because the people who are on your email list, especially the people who are on your email list, have email domains where you can actually see their websites. So if it's like for me, it's Favour, Favour at playinc.online, PLAYINC.online. That is the link. That is the domain. So it may be your name at yourdomain.com. So when you have that and somebody has signed up with their domain on your connections or your listing, that's a good thing, because now you can actually see their website and you can actually get to interact with them, get to know their LinkedIn platform, get to know the people. It's no longer guesswork, because now you're actually connecting with real people who have real businesses and who have active workspaces, because you're paying for those workspaces, whether it's Outlook Mail, Yahoo Mail, Apple Mail, Google Mail. You're paying for some type of mailbox. So that's how you're able to know that you're actually sending emails. Because imagine if all those contacts are not paying their workspace or using their mailbox actively, and you're sending out emails. Yes, they look good on paper, but they're being bounced, either a soft bounce or a hard bounce, because you don't even know what's going on their side, and you can't control that either. So just imagine the quality control you have to keep doing on a consistent basis. So it's really, really important to think about that. Tolu, what are your thoughts too?
Hi, sorry, I was away for a bit. I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, no, I was just thinking, like, what are your thoughts on that when you look at the differences in those varieties? Like, what happens, with, especially in the industry today now, and then looking at the timeline we have from where it is to where we are now?
Yeah, as it is, how technology comes and just disrupts everything. Sometimes when you start with something and you get settled with it, and before you know what, something else just comes on and then changes the game forever. I think that is where we are at the moment, even as it is with AI coming on strong now. Everybody's in a state of confusion. Even though, yes, we're still hanging on to what we've always worked with. But there's that lingering thing, sort of like tugging at us, saying, hey, you know what? Whatever you've been holding on, just hold on to it lightly, because you just never know, what's coming up in the next few months, not even years now, in the next few months, So, I think the thing there, right, is, yes, as I've said, that AI is on the scene now and all that, I'm sure there's still stable tools, stable methodologies, stable ways of doing stuff that at least for those of us who have been fortunate enough to like, for instance, I count myself fortunate to have registered for that Flodesk unlimited privilege, and that doesn't mean to say that everybody in the room here can still go on, but for me, I'm like, based on everything I've heard today now, it's kind of like just giving me that sort of assurance that, hey, you know what, you're on the right path. Hold on to what you have, learn as much as you can, but keep an open mind, as to what is happening in the future. Yeah.
I love that. That's true. There's so many things that are changing and so many things that are happening that it also is going to play a big role into your discovery online. And when you send out emails and people receive them and people connect with them, they remember. Like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, just think about this as I'm about to express this, or picture this. Imagine you've been sending out emails to people, and now you're at a conference and somebody you've been connecting with that may have joined your email list that you didn't know or you are aware of, but you're not sure if they open. So you see it, but you don't know what's really happening. And then all of a sudden they talk to you and they mention something you said in an email 2 years ago or 2 months ago, and now you're at a conference talking about something else, and now it's become a point of reference. It changes the whole dynamic, because that person has been getting your emails. Says, oh yeah, I've been getting your emails and I like your emails. And when people say that, that's a good thing because people unsubscribe from emails fast. It's like when you skip the button on YouTube to skip ad, that's how fast it is. He's laughing. It's a fact because you think about it and you ask yourself, how much time am I going to spend receiving the same emails that I have to keep deleting every time it keeps coming in? So the breaking point is where you have to break away from it. And Tolu is feeling bad about it. So why do you have a sad face? About to subscribe.
No, it's just that, just what you said now, I'm like, wow, really? Because for someone like me, it's not like I get myself off email lists easily. I still sort of like give people that sort of like benefit of the doubt that, okay, let's see what they're posting and everything. So I think for me, really, my rule is I'll give you up to like 10 chances. If you're not making sense to me, then I'm going to cut you off. So just hearing that, what you said now, how people, the rate at which people get off email list, I'm like, whoa, that is alarming.
Yeah, it's a serious deal. It's a very serious problem, especially if your unsubscribe rate starts to get above a certain threshold, it starts to get bad because your unsubscribe rate, as far as lifetime, should range anywhere from 0.0 if you really can, great. But majorly, majority of the time, it will be from 0.1 to about 0.3. That's your unsubscribe rate.
Okay. Right. Okay. But, can I ask a question? I mean, knowing you and what you've, for me, to you, as somebody that is very technical and knowledgeable in this area, have there been times that you've thought of maybe using other tools? Because if to get you right, you said Flodesk is actually the main tool, or maybe one of the main tools that you use. Have you considered others in the market?
Yeah, I've considered others in the market and I've seen how they are, how they operate. I used them before I chose Flodesk. And I also see them from the lens of the clients that we work with too. So I can see it everywhere. Today I'm on Go High Level. Tomorrow I'm on Klaviyo. The next week I'm on Kit. Before you know it, I'm in Aweber. So I see all of them through the lens of the clients that we work with, and all of them don't have to switch, but if they feel like it's costing and it's something that they need to switch up, then it will change. We have a client that switched last June. She was using Kit. It used to be called ConvertKit, and she was using Kit, and she was getting on average anywhere from 0.2 to maybe even 1%, 2%, click rate, and open rates were anywhere from 5%, 10%. It was just just trying to make it happen. And we moved her over to Flodesk, and now she's on averaging about 20% plus in her open rates, and she's averaging about 5+% on click rate. So when you now see the difference, and it's the same email, it's the same content, it's the same people, different platform. So you tell me, was the problem the copy? Was the problem the message? No, it was this technical setup. So I've seen it from other clients' viewpoints, and I see how they have terrible open rates, terrible click rates, click-through rates. And I'm like, this is not good because you're spending so much money and you're not getting the same attention that you're paying for, and you're not paying attention to the technical setup either. So it's like a whole miss, and it's not a good feeling at all. So I've seen that happen, and it's something that I've definitely wanted to, ensure it's not done or it's not overlooked. But I have seen the platform from other people's lenses, and I see what it does. Like even we Go High Level, we've seen how it creates. So there's so much that we have to do to make sure that we have to restructure it, because they're going to give you a code and you may not know how to put that code on the website. And even if you put it on the website, it may not be operating the way it's supposed to. And then it's a lot. So when you think about all the structures in place, you kind of have to do more. But with Flodesk, you get raw files, you get dynamic files, it's easy to workflow through, and at the same time, you're able to save your favorites. We did that for a client, and she's literally, after she went through the university for Flodesk, now she's just doing her own thing, and she's loving it. She's creating emails, and it's happening. So if you really want to learn it, if you really want to do it, information is out there for you. It's for free. It's out there. But when it comes to implementation and strategy and implementation into what you want to get out of the results you're looking for, that's a whole different conversation. So yeah, it's definitely information that you can apply. Definitely. So Tolu, that's to your question. Yeah, I've seen the other platforms, even on Wix. I've sent emails through Wix. Even through Shopify, you have to download an app to send emails within Shopify. If you have to use Shopify at all, Squarespace has their own. I've seen them all. So when I look at all the setups, it's just depending on what you really want to see out of what you're getting to. Great question. What's up, Dr. Fashion? Glad to have you here.
Hey, hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday.
What's your vibe? Are you the person who send emails once, twice, go Fashion Nova mode, or just
Right. Oh my gosh, Fashion Nova. I think I blocked them. They do it a little too much. They email you and they text you crazy. Like they text me before I came on here. That's a little too much for me. You texting me more than my friends. But I'm really big on email. That's a major thing. That's something that's part of my business and my brand, whether it's for my YouTube channel or for my company Creator Life. It's my way of not fighting the algorithm, if you get what I'm saying. Oftentimes we want to be seen and heard on social media, but then we get mad when people don't see our stuff. It's really a pay to play at this point. So having that email list where people took the time to opt in and they're not distracted by other content being recommended. All they see is my stuff. So I have a very high open rate. I make sure that I'm providing value first. And then if they want to support me and purchase something, then they can. But one thing I look at besides the open rate is the revenue for each email that I send out. And I'm able to share those numbers with brands and do some brand deals too.
That part, because your email subscribers are actively paying attention to things that you say, you do, you subscribe to, you recommend, you connect, and there's even a way you can even build your email list and do email lists building that allows you to even build within your community. It's really, really good. And that way people get to connect with you. And when they hear you and connect with your emails, they actually love to hear from you. And that way you know that, okay, this thing is actually working. It's actually making sense. Totally. I really, really appreciate you for mentioning that too. Like now we're in May 7th. Today's May 7th. And I sent an email. If I look at the last 30 days, I sent an email April 4th, April 19th, April 27th. Those are the 3 times I sent an email. And April 27th was when? That was last week, Monday. And when I look at my email list, I've not sent an email. So if I look at the last activity in the last 7 days, which is after I sent an email, let me see the number. It's pulling up right now because we have about close to 10,000 emails. So it's loading. Give it some time. So when I look at the long-term visibility active wise, I normally see that there's activity going on the platform. And I'm like, this is very interesting. How many people are checking in? How many people are active? And if they're active, what is the activity like? Are they connecting? Are they doing less? Are they doing more? What are the results looking like? And that's also going to play a big role into your connection. So like right now, I see in the last 24 hours, it said, okay, it switched again. So in the last 24 hours, 19. So there were about 19 people who have connected. I've not sent an email since last week, and 19 people have been on the email in the last 24 hours. And now in the last 7 days, 146. So, and the last person was today, what time is it? 5:31 p.m. Central. And the last person was 12:01 p.m. Central. So that was about 5.5 hours ago. and this is somebody who has opted into the email list this morning because the person opted in from finding it on the website and finding it on Google, and they now subscribed because I don't know the person. So there are a lot of people I don't know. If you know more people in your email list than people you don't know, that's a problem. That's a problem. You want to have more people that you don't know on your email list than people that you know. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Dr. Fashion or Tolu. Anyone could go. We'd love to hear your thoughts both.
I'm multitasking. But I heard you saying something along the lines of knowing more people on the email list than you know in person. Repeat
So
that.
would you rather have more people you know on your email list than people you don't know, or the other way around?
Oh my gosh. My head hurt when you said that. I don't know why. I mean, I don't care. I mean, for me, the email list is not personal. You know, I don't know majority of the people on my email list, but they know me, right? So I think for me, I care to get to know the people that support me, but for the most part, everybody can't be my friend. So I don't know if that answers your question, but do you know everybody personally on your email
No
list?
way.
I think that's insane. You know, because some people just come across you maybe through a Google search and they're a stranger. And sometimes it takes people years to approach, not years, but they'll take a moment to approach me because they're a fan of my work, but they don't know if I'm going to read their messages or anything like that. So they like to keep in touch with the things that I do through the email list. But yeah, I think I answered your question.
You did.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the quality, of, when I say quality, as in how engaged, how interested they are into what you're doing. So, yes, I would rather have more people that I don't know on my emailing list than the ones I know who are not really doing anything on my list, So, like, the reason why I said I'd rather have more people is that at least, I'm getting that visibility. I'm getting to show other people who are not familiar with my work, getting them to know about me. And, the thing there, right, these days, attention is the currency. And the thing there, right, is when you offer something of value, your work is curious, you find that people that don't know you tend to get converted. Not all the time, but most of the time they get converted. They get to be your advocate. As in, they spread the word, they go all around saying, hey, have you seen this and all that? And yeah, so which will be good for me, beneficial for my business, So yeah, to your question, I think I'd rather have more people who don't know me on my list than the ones I'm familiar with.
Thank you, Tolu. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you, Brittany. This is so good because it's very important, super important to know this, just because when you have activity like this, imagine this happening 24/7 in your email list and people are literally on your list, which means they're in their inbox. So it means that if they are on your list and they're checking you out now, it means that they're opening an email that you sent before now. And that's what's keeping them coming back. That's what allowing them to understand, okay, there's something I read, I want to go read it again. So when you start looking at that, you're like, oh, this is what it means. This is where people are. And then you start creating segments. It changes everything because now the more people get to see you, the more people they are able to connect. And then when you look at their websites, you're able to now see, okay, this is the kind of people that are listening or reading or connecting with me. Now imagine if you even go deeper and then you ask AI to tell you, what is my client avatar? Literally ask AI, use your CSV file and ask AI, what is my customer avatar looking like? What are the kind of companies that are here on my email list? I have so much, I don't know how to split them. When you do that, you get to know who they are and you get to know exactly what they need. Then you start attributing and creating content for them. It's not guesswork. But when you're able to have those little clues, it now allows you to become more specific in how to help them so that you don't get more unsubscribes or more spammy content or more blocks. You don't want that. So the goal is to show up and give people emails because the emails are quality. And like you said, Todo, as well, with quality, when you give somebody that quality and they come back and they're actually reading your email, they'll be happy that they're opening your email because they're able to see it. And consistently that opens and people get in, they're like, oh wow, this is actually happening. Okay, they're connecting. The next minute, they're reading an email that you sent months ago, years ago, and they're opening it. They may never know you or get to meet you, but they know about you because they receive emails from you. So it's a good way to show that you're connecting with people. And you'll also be surprised too that the time somebody sends you an email to do a collaboration or to do some type of business, because now you have more visibility on platforms like Flodesk, you're able to now gain more average competition at a higher capacity because now you're able to even do more for people with less. You're not spending more money. You're not having overhead costs. You're not spending too much. You're actually sending the right emails. It's connecting with the right people. And you also understand the right analytics. That's a big deal. With Flodesk, when you go to the analytics section, they have subscribers, emails, forms, workflows, checkouts. So imagine if you had a form. That form will tell you, since you first set up a form, it will tell you your life metrics or your lifetime form metrics. So when you're able to see that, it will tell you your opt-ins, it tells you your conversion rate, it tells you how people have subscribed, whether they subscribe through opt-ins, whether they were actually manual subscribes, whether you're able to bring them in through different lead systems. It shows you all these things. And then on top of that, when it comes to your emails, which I want to share with you, it will tell you your emails sent, the number of emails you've sent. It will tell you your total email volume, right? And that's a huge number that when you see, you'll get to know that it depends on how many emails you've sent based on the number of activity of the people that have actually subscribed to you on a consistent basis. So if somebody sends you an email 20 times, then that 20 times 20 is now where you see 400, right? Because now you're compounding it and it's building. So when somebody is clicking and they're clicking on that consistently, that's going to keep growing. So when you start getting in the millions of email volume, that also shows how you're also building more and more content that people are clicking on even after you've sent it. It also talks about your delivery rate, right? Your delivery rate is important too. Your open rate is important, your click rate is important, and your unsubscribe rate. I'll give you two rates that I have here. My delivery rate on average is 98.5%. So that means when it comes to delivery and getting into the inbox, that delivery is almost 100%. So that's a big deal because, or below a certain threshold, then that number is not going to be as big and it's not going to show as much. Let's say it's 95% or it's 90%. Think about this like when it comes to your payment history, with your credit report, and you have 100%, 99%, 90%, 80%. It may look like 80% may look good, but it's not good when you base it on the average or on the industry average. So it changes entirely. So it depends on what you send, and that number can go up or down depending on what you send to. So my delivery rate is 98%, 98.5% specifically. And my unsubscribe rate is 0.1%. So that means out of the emails that I send, which is my total email volume is closer to about 2 million right now. So when you now look at that long term, you think about the number of people who are receiving emails, and it's not just hundreds, it's thousands, it's tens of thousands of people receiving emails. And when I send one email, it could be opened 20,000 times. I've seen that happen. So when you see your emails being opened that amount of times, and in those amount of times they are clicking on those same links, and they're doing that every day, and you're not sending emails also every day, and they're coming back to open those emails, those are good signals that tell you that you have good emails. So I don't need someone to tell me that Flodesk has good emails when people are staying on my emails and I have high open rates and I have high delivery rates, because I know that if it's being delivered, it's being received. And if it's being received, it's being opened. If it's being opened, it's being clicked. So everything is just moving in motion, and that's where you're able to see those things consistently. And that's what it builds into your setup as well. So you can also see your emails sent. You can see your total email volume, your opens, your clicks, and you can see all the way through the years that you've been on the platform. So it tells you that. Like it shows me here, I'll just give you like 2021, I sent about 86 emails. 2022, I sent 44 emails. 2023, I sent 60 emails. 2024, I sent 89 emails. 2025, 50 emails. And this year already we've sent 14 emails. And this is 6 figures on a year-over-year basis. And you don't have to send a million emails to get $1 million. You want to send the right emails to the right people for the right reasons. And one thing, there's a formula that I found, which is so cool. I don't know if I get it here and I see it in my notes, I'll share with y'all. But I noticed something. When you have a certain number of subscribers on your account, you can easily estimate how much you could actually gain when it comes to sales over time. Like if you have 1 subscriber, 10 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers, 100 million subscribers, and then 1 billion subscribers, right? When you have these subscribers in this type of count, what you realize that the dollar amount changes. The same way I was adding a 0 to each and every one of them is the same way that there's going to be a dollar sign that's going to be added specifically. It's not going to be the same, but it's going to have that same type of flow. So by the time you realize that, you're getting 10,000 emails and that's contributing to X amount per month or X amount per year because you send X amount on average through the year, then it changes everything on how you're able to create that long term for your business. So when you now start thinking about the emails you're sending, some companies we've worked with, we worked with apps, we've worked with websites, we've worked with in-store, we've worked with brick and mortar, we've worked with groups, we've worked with corporations. So I've seen it in different facets. There are some platforms that they send out emails in 2 ways. They send emails to investors and they can also send emails to consumers. So those are 2 different types of emails, but coming from the same platform. So when it comes to setups and all these things, it changes. So when you think about which platforms to use, how to send them, the branding that comes to play, when you think about your font, how do you install fonts? There are platforms that don't allow you to install fonts. Now imagine if you have a brand and you need your font and you can't use that font. You're stuck. Flodesk allows you to upload fonts. So think about these things long term and ask yourself, you can save money, you can get more visibility, you can build more domain reputation, and you can actually have more visibility overall because people see the same thing consistently over time. So this is what I wanted to share with y'all today. So thank you so much for being here and also listening and also being able to learn about Flodesk and what it does for you if you have a business and you want to use this long term for your marketing purposes as well, because email marketing shouldn't be hard, it shouldn't be daunting, and Flodesk makes it very simple to use and it's very easy to apply. And when you're able to use all these things together, it will be a great gain for you long term and have more visibility over all the things that you're doing with other platforms. So test it out, try it out for yourself, see if it works, and if it doesn't, let me know. Something else will work for you, but this, I'm sure 100% it will work. There are clients that we've worked with back in 2020 that are still using it in 2026, 6 years later. They're still using it. I can go to their websites today and I can still see the same pop-up or a different mix or something that's going to be changing, but it's still active. So just imagine how much content, how much leads they're getting for free just because they have a technical SEO setup. Just think about that. It's very important to think about that long term, and that's where everything is going to start from. So it's important to think about it and ask yourself these questions. Yes, Tolu.
Yeah, Favour, thank you very much. Wow. I've just got something that people don't talk about. I've got a question, and it borders on, like I said, something that it's not popular. Even though, yes, the words roll off our tongue easily nowadays. And as I'm hearing you with these numbers, with this in and outs, all these things that you're doing, um, where does mental health and well-being, come into play with all these things you're doing? Because as you know, as we were talking about the numbers, things gelling, things working the way they should be, you're able to get the insights you want from what is coming in. But how does the favor feel when things are not working the way you expect them to be? I'll give you an example. For instance, something very simple, as in, like when you go on Instagram, you send a post and everything, you've done all your best, you've worked hard, you've put your post on there, and then it's crickets. Nobody's like liking it, or maybe it's something you thought, oh, maybe by the following day, I would have had like maybe 20, 30 likes or shares, and only for you to get there maybe like 4 days, not even the next day, 4 days later, is only probably maybe like 2 likes and no share at all. So when it comes to this, to what you're doing and all that, because I guess the reason why I'm asking this is that you must have to invest a lot of time into all of this. And for somebody, yes, you can always say that, hey, hire a marketing person like you or whatever, but for somebody whose area or specialization is different from chasing the numbers, looking at the metrics, measurements, doing things and all that, I'm just kind of like looking at it that, wow, am I going to be able to do the work I am meant to do to show people? Or am I going to be bogged down with the fact that I'm not getting my numbers and all that? So I kind of like want to sort of like know that, do you sort of like, are there some anxious moments for you? And how do you cope when things are not really going the way you want it to go? Is it that you double down hard or what?
Great question, Tolu. And I will say this to this question. For me, when things don't work out the way they're supposed to, I'm that type of person that will take time to let myself understand it, because it's not everything that is good for you that is meant for you, which sounds crazy, but there are things that you have to also look and ask yourself, what am I really doing this for, and what is the ultimate outcome of what I'm putting myself into? And sometimes when you're doing it, like you said, you may not know all these things. Like for me, I didn't go to a class to learn these things. I just let it happen through learning through clients and understanding what they needed solved. So they have issues, so their problems and their challenges become my challenges. So I'm able to now say, okay, I'm going to put this on the challenge. I'm going to challenge this thing to make sure I can overcome the challenge. So for me, I flip it, because most times when people get anxious, depressed, down, distraught, daunted, overwhelmed, underwhelmed, they don't do anything because they just don't know what else to do apart from what they've already been thinking to do. So I look at it from, what can I do differently so that I'm able to change what I'm really in? Do I have to switch up how I wake up? Do I have to switch up my mood? Do I have to switch on some music? Do I have to take a walk? Do I have to go to the gym? Do I have to swim? What do I need to do that I can do better, that I know that if I do this, it will make me into a better person? So for me, when things don't work out, I'm just going to definitely sit back and understand why. I'm not going to fight it, because when you start fighting things, you start breaking things. So you want to understand how to break things down in a constructive way instead of doing it in a destructive way. So I changed the way I changed those perspectives, and I'm allowing myself to understand why it's not working, and I'll give it time. And then within that time, I'm able to understand, okay, this is what else I need to do. Like, I'll give you an instance with my podcast. When I started my podcast in 2019, that was August 12th, I started my podcast, and that's how I kicked off. We Don't Play podcast began, and I was just doing episodes. I was getting 1 listener, 2 listeners, 3 listeners, maybe 5 if I make it, 10 if I'm lucky. And it was just happening. And somebody would be so depressed, like, what, 10 people? We're over 8 billion people in the world. Where is everybody? Why is nobody listening to me? Why is nobody doing this? So for me, I was not even focused on that, because I'll see those numbers, and anybody that sees those numbers in the beginning will definitely sit back and not want to do anything else, because it's like, what's the point? That's what most people would do, because that's where they would find themselves at, and they wouldn't want to do anything else to stress themselves out any further. For me, I would look at it and say, okay, if this is happening, imagine what would happen if this changes. So same thing with websites, same thing with content, so same thing with things that I learned. So if I know that I'm able to look at it and look at the positive side, which I always do, I'm able to look and see things that would make my perspective change. And also, you have to love what you're doing, right? If you love what you're doing, you're going to do it passionately. For me, even when I work with clients, they say, hey, we love that the fact that you even know what you're talking about. You're not just trying to talk about it or sell it or say whatever you want to say. You actually live it. You live it. Like, this is what you do daily. This is what you actually eat, breathe, sleep. This is what you think. Somebody will know the difference between someone that's flipping a page to answer a question and somebody who tells you on the go, this is exactly what you need to do. So for me, I've been doing so consistently that it's so natural that if I see a challenge and I see a problem coming, I'm like, I bet this is a new level unlocked that we have to go through. And that way I'm able to see more things in different ways. And I've helped it to the point where I've seen it to even help myself learn things that I can do myself and stretch myself. Because imagine if I just sat down and say, oh yeah, SEO is doing this, and I have no idea about AI, I have no idea about what's going on with code, I have no idea what's going on I'll be obsolete in information. You guys would not be like, nah, what are you talking about? So I have to reinvent, I have to understand, I have to learn, I have to keep researching. So those are the things that I see. And sometimes some clients don't see it early and then they see it later. Sometimes they see the vision and then they wait. And then some people just don't care. They're just like, okay, I don't really need this. So everybody's different. But for me, I usually give myself time. I pray about it. And I ask God, is this something that I need to be doing? If it's not something I need to be doing, I don't need to be doing it anymore. And if it needs to be something I need to get done, then the reason why I'm going through this process is so I can trust the process. And with my podcast, that kept going. And now my podcast is about less than 20 episodes, close to 700 episodes total. And now it's going across 160 nations, and it has really amassed a lot of traffic. A lot of countries are listening. Shout out to Singapore as well, because Singapore has really been tapping into listening in overtime and overtime. So these are the things that I see. I'm reading analytics. When I have episodes, I'm able to understand these are the cities, the states, the countries, the counties, the zip codes, the provinces. I have all that information that I can see. So if I need to ever run a campaign or ever run anything that will allow me to reconnect with them, there's an email address that's already connected to. I can send an email and they have the information. So these days for me, it's more so of strategy than just trying to think, oh, what wouldn't happen? A company reached out to me last week. We just got things going on now. There's a business that reached out to me, a huge company. They reached out, and I'm going to be featured in their magazine this week. When it's going to be put out, they're putting all the editorial things together. And now whenever they release it, whenever it's time for them to do their publication, it will be out. And they found me and they connected with me and sent me an email, and they were like, hey, we want you to be here. And I was like, do I really want to do this? And some people will be like, yeah, just jump on it. But I just said, no, I have to give it time. I'm not just going to say yes to everything. So I took about a week to think about it, pray about it. I was like, yeah, I think I need to do this. So now I'm talking with them and it's official. So these are the things that I see, that I know that if I didn't start then and I was I was down then I wouldn't be experiencing these things I'm experiencing now. Even with LinkedIn, my LinkedIn is close to now 20,000 connections. Where did they come from? God helped me with that, because I was able to just connect to people all along. Likes are there, comments are there. People I don't know are making comments, and it's beautiful. People sign up to the email list. They connect with me off the app. It happens on the podcast. So I've seen this in a way that it's building more and helping more people than me trying to think about what to take. Because at that point, I'm gonna waste so much energy trying to take when I should just be receiving. But because I gave first. So that's why I like to give information and share information like this. Like we're talking about Flodesk. Not everybody uses Flodesk. People use their own platforms, and I'm not going to force anyone to use any platform they don't want to use. But I always make sure that I share what I know. So when you do your research and you count the cost, you're able to now know and at least you have a better understanding of what you do. So for me, challenges are, I take that as a challenge. I don't get beat down by the challenge. I try to make it happen. And I think it's also because I'm a self-taught person. I've taught myself how to play the drums, taught myself how to cook, taught myself how to swim. So I do things, and I'm able to teach myself even SEO and understand code and all these things. So I'm very hands-on. I'm much of a kinesthetic learner. So it's easy for me to pick it up. So I don't look at it. Of course, we have our days when we're down, but for me, you never find me on a down day. Like, it sounds crazy, but it's so true. Like, things can be happening in the world, but I'll find joy in something. Something is going to make me happy that I'll not have to stress, so that I don't have to focus on things I can't control and focus on the things that I can control. And that changes everything. Like for me, for those who didn't know, I was born on a Sunday. So that says a lot. Who doesn't love a Sunday? So when you look at it from that point, I look at it from so many different angles. So that's why I'm always in that happy mode, good mode. And at the same time, I wouldn't let anything stress me, because stress na wahala. So I don't want it. I'll just keep it to the side, and I'll make sure that I'm in a good space where I can actually help somebody and be sane about it. And last thing I'll say too is, when you think about insanity, like Albert Einstein said, and the great people have said in the time, that insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So we have to be sane, and that also is mental. It's mental health. We can't just be saying, oh yeah, it's gonna work, and nothing is working. If you don't wake up, if you don't do the work, you don't eat, you don't move your body, it's a lot of things we have to consider. Thank you, Judith. So it's important to look at these things. So that's how I'm able to process things without having to over stress or over analyze things, where I could just let go and let God. That's what I do. Totally. Jay said, wow, that's dope. Jay says you have the Niger happy gene. It's actually interesting that I saw something like that I saw it on Instagram. There was a news anchor that talked about it. There was I can't remember where I saw it, but I definitely know it was on Instagram. And they were talking about how with Nigerians, there's a gene in Nigerians that just has something to do with happiness. It's like you can't break it. And Nigerians are also one of the happiest people in the world. And you wonder how. But it just happens. And especially if you really bring it from the heart, you'll definitely see it. So that's definitely how I see it. So it's just the way it is. This is how God made me. This is my real face. I'm not here to fluff and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for answering that. It's really been very, very helpful. And, we all need a helping hand, or somebody to just guide us. And then you've actually done that and more, this evening. So I'm really grateful. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You are welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad I was able to, cover this. I felt like, this would be a good time to bring this information to y'all and, help you with this too. So I'm glad that you guys came in today. Thank you so much. Judith, you said you were awesome and interesting. You continue to surprise me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Judith. I appreciate you. Always a pleasure meeting you as well at CreativeCon, always. And I can't wait for the next one too, for sure, God willing. I'm excited that we're here, y'all. Yes, Tolu, what's up? What you got for us?
When is the next, when are you hosting the next room on Flodesk? So that, I do tend to get notifications when you're on, but I know you have other areas that you speak about and all that. So I just want to know, because I'm particularly interested and invested in Flodesk at this rate, so, and I wouldn't want to miss any further, rooms in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Tolu. So the best way to do it is to click the link above.
Okay.
And once you click the link above, you subscribe to the AI SEO newsletter. And once you do that, you'll have access to all the information I send through email, and any details that you need, at least you have access to it directly, because this is a lot of information to take in all at once. So I always like to make sure it's digestible, however you want to put it, and you're able to put it in one pack or Substack pack, and you're able to put it into a place where you can connect and always refer and go back to. So this is something that I'm doing, and I'm always sending out information to people. So I don't always do Flodesk rooms. This is actually my first one of the year, and I don't talk about it. So Tolu, for you to be here, that's a God thing, because I just show up here, and whoever is here is going to be here. And if they're not here, they're not here. I can't force anyone to be here or stay here. So I just do it when I have time, and I'm able to do it with people who have the same time available for this. So usually I have that consistently. But if you, like you said, if it's Flodesk, I'm going to be doing more. That's why I'm going to reach out to Flodesk and tell them, hey, people need more information like this. And if you can be able to provide it, someone else will. And of course, you can go to YouTube University and check it out. People talk about it, but I particularly want people to know my experience, what I've gone through it on Flodesk myself, and then I'm able to help other people too. So that's the best way you can be able to do it and find it on here. And then another thing too is tomorrow I'm going to be here at 11 a.m. Central talking about modern SEO, which is old SEO versus new SEO. So it's going to be very interesting, and I'm hoping that you guys will be able to hear this, because a lot of people doing things the old way or the new way. We don't know whether it's a way to do it or no, but we have to make sure everything is done correctly. So I'm excited that we'll talk about that tomorrow. So if you're here and you got a pink ticket at the very bottom, please make sure you are always welcome here to be a part of this club. Come to Marketing Club. There are over 353.8K members here, and you're always welcome to be here and be part of the conversations we have today. What's up, Stack? What's up, Judith? Thanks for being here, y'all. How y'all doing?
Man, I came to support you, brother. How you feeling, man?
Feeling great.
What's going on?
Feeling great. Thanks for being here. Judith, what's going on?
Hey, Favour, I don't know if you heard or not, but I just got back from a speaker boot camp, and I'm getting ready to roll out a Judith A. Coletti website. So I'm going to be looking for you. I got your number. So I need to get this up and running and moving forward and all kinds of good stuff. So you're on my radar.
Thank you, Judith. I'm excited. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope the conference was amazing. I'm super excited. Like, so many new things are happening, so I'm happy to hear this good news, and definitely will reach out too so we can make it happen for sure. Flodesk is a big platform, and it's big to me, and I hope it's big to you, because the things I see them do are so little, but they go such a long way. And I don't say little as in they're little, but when you think about the things that make things change, it's like a drop in the ocean, and you have a whole ocean to deal with. That's Flodesk, because you have so much in there. It tells you so much you can be able to do. It also even tells you the best days to send emails, and you can categorize it based on the last 7 days, the last 30 days, the last 90 days, and all time. So I can say, okay, when is the best day to send an email? It will tell me this time is the best. Today is Thursday. So I can see my email list. That's about about 300,000. Yeah. So that's about 10.9%. So I know that, okay, I can send an email today and people will receive it. The worst day to send an email for me is a Wednesday. And the best email is a Tuesday. So imagine Tuesday and Wednesday, and every other one ranges between 7% through 12%. So imagine, I know that's my click rate on average. Then I know that that's when I can send emails out. And I know, okay, it also tells me when subscribers open to my emails. So in the last 30 days, people opened my email. About 41.2% of people opened up my emails between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. So imagine, what would people be doing between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m.? That means I know that they're late night owls. I know that they could be early birds, right? I also have people from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. who are up. So when you start thinking about when to send people emails, who they are, how it segments, what to send them, it now gets better, because that more visibility we're talking about is not just because it's a tool or it's abracadabra or whatever you want to call it. You cancel, you do this, you do that, you set, you repeat, you rinse, you repeat. It gets tedious, it gets over exhausting. So the visibility I see, because Flodesk emails gets 17% more visibility than industry average. That's what you literally see on their website. If you go to flodesk.com, FLODESK.com without the W.com, you will see on flodesk.com, it will say the same thing here, 17%. So it's not me saying it, it's what they said, it's what they put. And when I can look at it being there since 2019 and as a Flodesk partner, I can see the same thing too. Because when it comes to visibility, it grows. My delivery rate is 98.5%. That's high. Some people could be 99%. Some people could be 100%. Some people could be 95%. But the higher you have that average and it's at a higher level, that means you're also getting more responses. And I don't send emails all the time. I asked people, there's a time I asked them, hey, how many times do you want me to send emails? And I put a poll, and I got to know that people like to hear from me between anywhere from 2 to 8 times a month. So I know that is technically 4 to 16 times a month. Why is it 4 to 16? Because for every email I send, I can resend it on Flodesk after 24 hours. Some platforms do it, some platforms don't. So I've seen them all. Some do, some don't. So it just depends on what platform you use. So I know with Flodesk, after 24 hours, you can resend that same email. You can change your subject line. You can change your preview text. You can change whatever you want to change and then send it. I will just resend the same thing because I've already optimized it for that growth. But you can always switch it up if you want to change the statement, or if you want to emphasize something in the email that they didn't open, like we did that with a client where there was something that was in the email that they needed to RSVP for, that we switched and had to do it in the second round. So there are things that you can do depending on how you want to structure it. And that gives you the liberty to do it on Flodesk because you can resend that email over. So if I know I can send between 2 to 8 emails in a month, then I know that they're going to receive it between 4 to 16 times in a month. So out of 30 days in a month, 31 days in a month, I know that I've been able to cover at least half of the month and build that with them. So I don't have to resend it after 24 hours. 24 hours is the minimum. So I don't have to resend it on the 25th hour. I can set it on the 48th hour. So imagine you have so many resends that you can resend over time. Just think about that cycle of consistency in building, because someone may not see it in the morning, they might see it at night. So if I send this in the morning and it didn't open as well, then I'll send it at night because it tells me that there are more people who are active. So Flodesk tells you all these things, but the only way you're going to know is by actually sending out the emails. It's not going to tell you that if you don't send emails at all times of the day. I've sent emails in the morning, afternoon, evening, and night. That's why I have these stats, because it will tell me what they like. So when I'm able to do these things and know what device types they are, desktop, mobile, I'm able to know what they like and what they don't like. I'm able to see even performance by email. I can see when the date sent, the total number of people sent, the opens, the open rate, the clicks, the click rate, and also the unsubscribe rate. So anytime you get a high unsubscribe rate, you can go to that unsubscribed email and see why was I being unsubscribed, or why did I have such a high unsubscribe rate? You open that email and then you get to see what was in that email that was spammy. What did I say? Was it too salesy? You can literally do a self-evaluation so that you limit yourself from getting spammy. So for me, I switched up because I used to be sending out emails to say, oh, get this discount, get this percentage off, get this, get that. And eventually people unsubscribe because they don't want to hear that every day. They don't want to hear 50% off every day. They want to hear value. People will pay full price for value. People will pay first class to get what they want, right? So if you think about what you're looking at, your goal is to give people the value and don't discount yourself. If you give discounts, if you give offers, great. Those are things that you want to do to build loyalty, to build community, to build substance. That's great for engagement. It's great for initiatives. You're creating those things within these platforms to give you those things that create more value over time. And Flodesk really gives you that. I've seen it for myself and it works. because when you're able to see what's happening and how you're able to really break it down, you're able to know, okay, now I'm getting these things. So imagine if you realize that you're not getting unsubscribed, you're not getting spam, you're not getting to a point where people are unsubscribing, then you're able to know, oh, wow, okay, that means people really want to be here. People don't want to not be here. They want to learn more, but as they want to learn more, they want to do more, because once you learn something, now you want to apply it, and that changes everything. So when you start thinking about your unsubscribe rate and what people are looking out for and where it's changing, everything changes from there. And your business also starts to change too. You start to realize that you start doing more. Like for me, my unsubscribe rate became 0.0 from 2024. Even though I was sending emails before then, I was getting unsubscribe rates from 0.1% and above on average. But eventually, it now went down. So from 2024 all the way through now, it's stuck at 0.1%. So it just depends on what you use and how you're using it. But honestly, if you want to use this platform, by all means, you can use Flodesk. It's a great platform to use, and you will save money, you will save time, you will save a lot of resources. And Forbes did a study, right? I always love to do my research so I can also tell y'all what's going on here, right? Forbes did some studies, and I'll put the link in the chat so you guys can, boom, there it is. So check the link in the chat and read the link there from Forbes. In that article, they said that 88% of people check their emails every day. Imagine 88% of people. So imagine if you know in 24 hours, you have 4 cycles of 6 hours buckets. You have 4 sections. So just imagine doing that consistently. You have 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. You have 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you have 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. So by the time you have the full 24-hour cycle, you're able to now know exactly how to interact with people. Because that visibility is not because you're sending more emails. It's because people are receiving the emails when they're supposed to be in their inbox or when they're in their inbox. And how do you know that? You have to do the testing. And that takes time. So it definitely has to change all those things as well. Tolu said, please do more as well. And that's super duper great. Didn't know Flodesk was very robust. Yeah, they are very robust. Yes, focus on value and not discounts. Yeah, that's definitely my go-to. That's what I'll always say, and it just makes a lot of sense as well. Stack, what are you seeing in your world when it comes to emails and visibility, just with the platforms that you use for connections with people?
Emails is very important, bro. I do a lot of email blast out, especially when it's time to communicate with a lot of people. It's a good idea, bro, especially having an email list, but I don't really, focus too much on it, but I know that AI can control it real good. I use something called like Mailchimp and stuff like that, bro. And just go crazy, but I don't really care too much for the email. I know it can help out people, but I don't really care about emails, bro.
Now you got me thinking, because I was talking about Mailchimp earlier, and I was like, I have been using Mailchimp and Constant Contact, and now I'm on Flodesk. And most times when you use platforms like those, Mailchimp, Constant Contact, it depends on the number of subscribers you have. So if your subscribers are not much, then that wouldn't be a problem, because you wouldn't have to worry about the cost or the overhead costs. But if now you have like 1 million subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, and you're paying X number of dollars, you're paying $3 signs, $4 signs, then you're like, okay, now we're talking about overhead costs and how can we cut these costs, or how can we be able to get better ratings or get better responses or higher, I would say, better systems involved. So it's really dependent, because I can't speak on that, but those are options, and it's a good platform, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to those evaluations, that's not where you decide to make that executive decision too.
Facts, Favour. I need to just dive into more of it. What's going on with Flodesk though? Talk to me a little bit about that. I'm interested in this.
So Flodesk, I'll put the link in the chat. I'm glad I'm able to put the link in between, because Clubhouse doesn't allow you to put the same thing twice when you comment. So yeah, I put the link in the chat. That will take you to my link. And that link will, as a Flodesk partner, you'll get 25% off your first year. And it starts as low as $19 a month, and it goes up from there. And I've been with them since 2019. amazingly well. And right now it's a whole community. They even launched something, I believe today or yesterday, about creating something called expiration dates on your workflows. So when you have workflows in your expiration dates, and you have expiration dates in your workflows, however you want to put them, those workflows now able to even expire at a certain time so that you don't send out the emails that are supposed to go past a certain time. Let's say you had an event and this event was happening on May 7th. Today is May 7th. So you don't expect to send another email to somebody who applied or came in tomorrow because it expired today. So that smart trigger, that kind of way of automation is really dope with Flodesk, because you're able to really understand how to make this happen so that you're not just guessing over time. So Flodesk definitely helps with visibility, and they've also partnered with Amazon SES, which is Amazon Simple Email Service. So you definitely are guaranteed of priority inbox. You're guaranteed of low risk when it comes to compliance, because even when you have a platform, you don't know what that platform may be giving you. That platform may not be giving you all the things that you actually require to actually have a healthy domain. And I always talked about this, and I'll always bring it up for anyone who needs to check it out on their own. There's a website called nslookup.com. Check it out. I'll put the link in the chat, and just do your own homework, do your own research, check it out for yourself, and you're going to see a result. It's either going to be low, medium, or high. So I put the link in the chat. And when you click that link, put in your domain, put in your website. Just put in your website there, and you can check any website in the world. That's open source. And when you click it and you click find DNS record, you're going to see to the right side, they've actually started this recently. It's called domain health. So it's going to tell you what your domain health is. And when you check your domain health, it will tell you whether you are low risk, you're medium risk, or you're high risk. With Flodesk, you can end up being low risk. My domain right now is low risk. So if you have a website, if you send emails, if you broadcast messages, if you are doing digital communications and you are high risk, then you stand a high chance of getting unsubscribes and getting spams and getting blocked and getting phishing. Not phishing with fish F, but phishing with PH. So you have to look into those things and really care about those details. So I wanted to make sure y'all check that out too. Does anyone want to check to see what theirs is? You want to put your domain in the chat and I can check it for you. If you're not able to do it on your own, I can do it for you right now. Put your domain in the chat and I'll tell you what it is, and then you can check it out on your own, and then you can get to see what those results are as well. Does anyone want to go? You can put in the chat.
It's fire too, Favour. Yeah, I like that tool.
Right? It shows you a lot. It definitely shows you a lot. This is a tool that if I use and I'm seeing your website, I can tell whether you have your website connected to Google or not. I'll be able to tell just because of what I see here. I wouldn't have to even be on your website to see. I won't have to even log in because I can see what Google can see. And that's what you want everybody else to see, so that you're also in that.
Just put hers in there, Favour. If you want to do Judith, she put her.
pmtrockford.com. Shout out to pmtrockford.com. Let's go. So I've put in the website and now I've hit find DNS records. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to analyze these two. What I've noticed is that with PMT Rockford, your domain is medium risk. So you have 2 out of 3 that are valid. The third one that is not valid is what you call a domain-based message authentication reporting and conformance code, which is another way of saying DMARC. You'll see it on the site when you log in or when you just use the website nslookup.io. So it's going to tell you what is there, what's happening, and what the protection is. So medium is good, close to low, because it's far from high. So you're in a safe place, Judith. It's just some authentication needs to go out, and if you send any emails, then it would be better to be at a low risk. And that's where we go with the compliance and make sure everything is ethically put in as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts, Judith.
This is all new to me, and I just put it in there because I trust you, Favor, and we'll be working on that website, my personal website soon. So I told you before I wasn't really in love with that website. I just have it up for compliance for my business because I need to have one for Medicaid. So, but we're gonna fix my branding and my marketing soon here.
Looking forward to it, Judith. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this. This is good. Okay, let's look at Tsitsi as well. So bizvault.biz. All right, so let's go. Okay, before I say anything, let me just go back. Okay, so I see one and I see two. All right, so I see bizvault.biz. Shout out to bizvault.biz. I see that you have your also medium risk, but your medium is lower than Judith's because Judith's was at a 6 out of 10 and yours is at a 4 out of 10. So you're closer to low than you're closer to high risk. So let me say that. Sorry, you're closer to high risk than you are closer to low risk. Sorry, I flipped the two. So you want to be in the low risk and not the high risk because high risk is from 3, 2, 1. It's like when you have a tire and your tire is getting to the point where it has no tread, right? That tread is going to get worse and worse and worse. And if you keep driving and let's say, God forbid, there's a snow or there's rain or there's something, you won't be able to steer well with your car, right? So that's kind of like the same thing with your website. That's why I love to give real life examples as analogies to show you how detrimental it could be for your website if you end up getting blacklisted or getting spammed or getting into those places where you can't recover. Because once you get those unsubscribes, you can't tell someone to resubscribe. They may, but the chance of that happening is not close because it's a manual action. That's why people are supposed to be able to unsubscribe to your emails ethically. With compliance, you don't stick people into your email list and they can't unsubscribe. That's wild. It's like you're putting somebody in a place where they can't leave and you keep sending them emails. They might report you and then that's a whole different situation. So you want people to easily either unsubscribe or manage preferences. And I love Flodesk because Flodesk allows you to do either unsubscribe or manage preferences. That way people can either hide, just like you have messages, if you want to hide alerts or if you want to hide notifications, you can do the same thing with emails and you allow people to do that with your emails. So you're able to do that and create more over time. And Cece says, thanks, I'm following. Thank you so much for sharing that too. So yeah, that's something to look at. And one thing I don't see is your domain keys identified mail. That's your DKIM. So your domain keys identified mail is not showing and your DMARC is on orange and then your SPF, which is your sender policy framework, is on green. So these are just other key terms that have different technical setup things and what they mean, but majorly I don't want to go too deep into it because it's already deep enough. But majorly what's happening is that you want to configure your website. So if you are sending emails to your community, then these are the things that you want to fix. So it's very important to look at it as well. Like my website is playinc.online. That's PLAYINC.online. And my risk assessment level is low. Mine is at a 10 out of 10. So it's public. You can see it. You can check it if you want to Google it. If you want to go to the website and search my name, you will see it there and you will see the record because it's public. So when you look at that and you look at that kind of domain, then it also says what you've added to it. Because it says you are what you eat. Dress how you want to be addressed. So if you want to protect your assets, then you want to protect it in a way that is secure. So when you send out emails, you're not getting low open rates, low click rates. You're not getting visibility. It's like you're literally sending out emails that are so beautiful, so lovely, so detailed, so authentic, but they can't see it because you have a technical setup that is actually blocking the system from operating in a functional way. So those are some things to really look into sometimes when I'm, bringing this up too. So CC says, currently my emails are on Zoho. I will check and work on it. Thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, the link is in the chat. You just sign up, start it today, and you just never know. And Stack, definitely. Flodesk is one platform that I can see definitely you doing a lot because you also do YouTube videos. as well. And with YouTube videos, you can put thumbnails there. So imagine you have a playlist of videos and you have content that you want to put on there. People are receiving your emails, and then in the email subject line, it says brackets video. And then you have all the videos on YouTube and it's coming in your email. Just imagine sending that consistently. It makes sense. If you think about YouTube back in the day when Vivo was there, and you subscribe to an artist channel, and Vivo, and I'm sure it's still there, but it's not as much as it was back in the day with music. When somebody dropped a new track, let's say Nicki Minaj, Drake, or whoever it is dropped a new track, Kendrick dropped something new, Beyonce dropped something new, and you get a notification in your email that this artist, or it will say like Rihanna Vivo, or it will say Drake Vivo submitted or posted a channel or posted a video, and you're getting that as an email from YouTube because you subscribe to the channel, and that's why you're watching that video on YouTube, because you got that email alert. So imagine doing that for your website when you submit a new podcast, when you have a new episode, when you have a new blog, when you have a new award, when you have something that is actually worth something to share with people. That email is documentation, and that allows you to actually pass through and become more of an asset than just someone that's just posting or content in because you want to put content out. So that's what I would say about that as well. So Stack, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that before we come to
Yeah, of course.
Ali.
I think that would be a good idea, bro, to have all that simultaneously blasting out, going crazy. I'm gonna look into it, bro. You know, Flodesk. I don't really care. As I told you, Favour, I don't really care for the email part, bro. But I'm gonna look into it. I'm listening to what you're saying, so I'll look into it, bro.
Appreciate you, Stack. Thank you so much for the question. Dr. Ali, we'd love to hear from you too. Thanks for being here. Questions, contributions, suggestions, the floor is yours.
Hey guys, it's nice to meet you as well. Just a quick question. Just I've been thinking like quite a while now, like for 3 to 4 weeks. Do you think like OpenAI and Claude Code, they're gonna be able to do like a lot of services as well in future? Not right now, but I mean, if they build up those intelligence and everyone gonna build their website or services even with those tools, probably it's quite easy to do a security check or SEO optimization or whatever in website level. How do you feel like in your industry? Do you feel like threatened about these things, or do you have any strategy? What are your mindset? Because I don't work in your industry at the moment, but I feel like these like OpenAI and Claude Code is not only LLM based or knowledge based, but they're trying to take over the design world, like Lovable, Base 44. They're releasing features like in 3 months, and some of the companies just go bankrupt. What is your thought on that as a like leadership in this industry?
That's a great question, Dr. Ali. Super great question. Thank you for bringing this up. This is something that I'm seeing consistently, and I've always said this, that we're in a time now that we need to own our property. We need to own our land online. We need to own our assets. We need to own our proprietary information. We need to own our content. We need to trademark our content. We need to copy it. We need to make sure that it's right. It's done in a good way, because if you think about where we're going, like you said with AI is just picking up anything and everything under the internet. So if you now start thinking about the semantic web and your website is part of that equation, then how do you protect yourself from getting to a point where AI bots are using your content to train their models, and you're not protecting that? So that's what I also share with clients, and I also share with businesses whenever I speak on my podcast or any other place I'm on, like on Clubhouse. And I always mention that when you have these things in place, you have to think about how to protect your signals. You have to protect your signals. I did a room about content marketing versus content signals, and I really went into the signals piece, because signals is not just a signal. There has to be something that has to be transmitted. There has to be information, because AI is using your content for training. AI is using your content for training. Wherever you use your content on, it's being used for training. So imagine if you're protecting your content from being trained through. You can use it for search, but if it's being trained with, and then you're not getting compensated for the training, because they're using your proprietary information, that's a problem. So all of these things that I'm saying is so that under compliance, you as a business owner are not under scrutiny or under any type of proxy server or address that's going to, I can say, infiltrate or impede your progress, because that's going to be a slow, gradual decay if that actually happens over time. So the goal is to make sure that you can protect your asset by also protecting where you also point from, which is your website. That's why I always mention that whenever you send an email to anyone, if you're sending an email, you most likely would have a website. Some people have websites and they don't send emails. Some people have emails and they don't have a website. Some people have a website and they also send out emails. So, and then I can add another layer. Some people have websites and they don't use the email platforms that their websites have, and they use other platforms that are third party. So it changes everything. So there are so many different components to it that you would ask yourself, how do you protect your own content from being seen to a point where you're actually the person that is being scraped on the web? So those are the things that I talk about, and it's very important to use this type of thing. So when you protect your assets and you're also sending out emails, you're also showing up online, because what happens in the retrospect of everything really is when you now look at your domain authority as a business and your domain authority is at a high level, it will also tell the web servers, it will tell the search bots, the search engines, the search boxes exactly where you as a business stand because of what they know about you. There's something on Google called Google Learn About. If you type in on Google, go to google.com and type in there, Google Learn About. When you go to Google Learn About, it will tell you what it learns or what it knows about you or about your business. And if it doesn't give you the right information, then it's reading from the wrong source, or it's skewed information because it's coming from a default point of view. So you also have to set the narration. You have to create the narrative. You have to create that using your proprietary data. So that's where it now gets a little complex, but that's what we do with clients to make sure that within amounts of time that they're spending online, they're not losing, because this is the kind of information that will help them scale. And when they now send emails, they don't look like they're spammy, they don't look salesy, they look professional, they look authentic, and they look real. And it's actually a real person that's talking to them and not a bot. So it changes everything, because yeah, you can use AI, but there has to be that experience and that touch. And that's why there's now a whole spam update with Google. Google made a spam update in March, and they made a discovery update in February. So all these updates are happening because they know what the core foundation is and know how to solve those core foundations without them getting misfired. So that's the whole point of doing this type of things, to protect yourself from the framework.
Mm-hmm. And then also, Favour, I was gonna say, ain't nothing like the human touch. Human touch is the last touch, bro. Y'all gonna be using AI, you can use it, but people gonna be looking for that authentic touch so you can authentically connect with people. So I'm glad we talking about that, Favour. People gonna use AI, but I feel like they're also gonna want that human connection, and don't ever forget about it when it comes to your business and putting that part in it. Yes, we can use it to market ourselves and grow ourselves on different levels, but don't forget about the actual authentic human part too.
100%. Thank you, Stack. Dr. Ali, what are your thoughts?
Yes, I agree with your points, and stack points as well. Like the stack points is very clear. There are so many industries that you can't have an AI, and they don't use even websites to advertise. That's my point. Like you have industries that you need to have people to go to the shop and advertise. But my concern is the whole about the web world, right? Not that part, because that's clear. You need many industries. They have dealers and etc. Like they have the whole community of salespeople. You're never gonna replace that, because it's not even through website. That's their culture. It's through people. But for web applications and websites, to be honest, I'm not very satisfied with your approach. It works right now. It's gonna work right now. We need to protect our content, etc. That's a basic thing. We have to do that. Definitely. You need to help your client to do that as a basic stuff. But it depends on the content, right? If you are a consulting company and you are not generating something new, your marketing thing, if you even hire like amazing people, it's gonna be similar to whatever said, which is public in on the internet, and AI can generate the same thing. I understand your point, but I'm so worried about fully digital businesses because they don't have any IP. They zero IP is it's same thing that hundreds of like companies doing the same thing on the web. It's all about branding, and even branding is public. How do you gonna protect your branding? And even if you start doing it now, there's so many brands that AI trained on it, and not even like you mentioned Google. Google is the most responsible one, but like, how do you know about ChatGPT and like Cloud Code? They trained on everything, and even Google is under question now. But how do you know about them? They trained on everything. You say don't train on this, but they just go around and train on this stuff. I'm coming from a AI background. I have a PhD in AI. I've worked in AI industry forever, and I'm saying that it's not that simple. Even you feel you're protecting it, but are you a new thing? That's a business question. Do you have any IP? No, we have so many businesses, they don't have any IP. It's all about like branding and marketing and etc. They don't have any unique points. Do you have unique points in marketing? That's not an IP. AI can train on it and even knows better than branding people, if you give it right information. I'm sorry to be so honest, like I'm just trying to understand from your perspective, because I'm coming from AI background, and to me that's over. That is not something that you can protect. Even you try to stop chatbots, it's already trained with these things. Like we had maybe billions of business tried any type of marketing in the world. If you come up with something new, it happened before, so the AI can also consider that. So as long as your business is not generating a new innovation or IP, marketing and business can be regenerated, to be honest. Like I feel like AI can do that. Quite frankly, of course, you need people to engage with people. Many industries, they only, as my industry, nobody follows Google ads or any ads. They rely on people because it's millions of dollars contract. They never gonna follow like Instagram ads. But if you are in a position that you just rely on the ads on users, I'm not sure how you're gonna survive, because AI can do end to end. That's my opinion. Just I'm trying to understand this bit.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ali, and thanks for being here as well, Astronaut. I want to go a little bit technical so that you can also see that point of view, because I was not talking about ChatGPT generated blog content, which could be slob if it's not done well. I'm looking at it from under the hood, under voluntary compliance. And this was a standard that was developed in 1994 when you think about the robots text file. So when you think about robots in itself, right, as you mentioned, AI is training and doing all these things, but websites are literally at vulnerable capacity to get scanned and webs crawled if they don't protect themselves from. Of course, you can do the most you can. I'm not saying that that's going to be the ultimate lock and now you're super master locked in. No, but when you have precautions to take into consideration and you're looking at it from the point of view of communicating with web crawlers, whether they're AI bots or search engines, you have to create directives. And that's where your robots text file comes in, because that's what's telling pages and files about your pages which should be allowed or forbidden to access on your website. So if your website doesn't have any directives that any disallows CloudBot or PedalBot or Anthropic or TikTok Spider or whatever platform or whatever bot that's going to be coming into your site, if you're not directing those instructions to say, don't do this, do this, don't do this, do this, and that's not on your website, then it's going to be hard for you to even particularly say that you're even protected, quote unquote, because those are the signals that are being directed from your site. So not everybody has those same type of custom codes. I look at websites and I audit them, and I notice that big corporations, small businesses, large businesses, they're doing well. But when you look at their sustainability with cloud bots, or when you look at it with ChatGPT bots, it's different. There are different bots for different reasons, and they operate at different capacities. So when your website is not crawling or being scraped in a way that your robot's text file is being considered, or even creating any directives, then it's hard for you to even operate with your crawl budget. And when your crawl budget is spent over time, those search engines are going to crawl over time too. And if you have those resources and you're part of those citations, then that's where you also fall in line with those different attributes. So the reason why it's happening at this capacity is because people don't know how to even create those custom codes to protect themselves from those signals that are coming into their websites for crawling or for scraping or for training. So it's way more complex. Right now, AI is the worst it can ever be. This is the worst version AI will ever be, because it's going to keep getting better and better. So I'm with you as well. I just wanted to make sure that you can get that under the hood factor. But that was a great point.
Yeah, definitely. I believe that's something that everyone should do. If they're not aware of this, definitely they should do. But I'm wondering that, like, OpenAI and even Claude, they're not transparent about their training. How do you know that? Because even you create like many like anti-bot, like AI stuff on your website. I have a AI that you have no clue it's myself or AI. How do you gonna solve that? Even legal stuff, it's so good in gray area. If you try to protect, it's a good thing, because you are trying to at least maybe like 40% of attacks or training, you're gonna stop that, okay. But 60% is like you can't differentiate between AI and any person. How do you gonna solve that in legal departments? Let's go to a court. As OpenAI, they are in a court. They have more legal people than like developers, and there is no legal thing that they can follow, because they created a bot. From technical perspective, it can be a person. You cannot differentiate. That's how AI is evolving. So, and that's a real problem. I think we need to get on the rules. It's good to have this conversation, like even notes on the website. At least you protect yourself in future laws. But I think the legal stuff is lacking. They cannot solve this at the moment. Like, it's been years now, and there have been turnarounds. And because I'm coming from the AI industry, and in Europe it's so different and so ridiculous, the rules. And even like in Europe, you can't solve this, because you're never gonna have a like system that understands if it's myself or AI, because AI is too powerful. It can act like me. What is your thought on this, like on the legal point of view?
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal. And right now I can't speak on that, because I wouldn't want to say anything that is not predictive in a way that would actually be backed up by data or science, because all these things are all subjective. Like you said, a lot of things are happening. People are getting laid off from AI because AI is replacing jobs. All kinds of things are happening. So I'm the last person to even, or any person at all, to even speak on anything like that, because it's so much to the point where even Tolu said it earlier that things are changing so fast in months, not even in years anymore. So by this time tomorrow, we're talking about a whole different thing. So all these things is just important to note. And we're even going into Web3. We don't talk about that as much. People are not securing their Web3 servers. They're not securing themselves on that platform, on those servers. So it gets more and more complex, that it gets to a point where you don't want to chew those bones, because you don't want to get to that point yet if you've not been able to understand what is happening on the surface. So between this and that, somebody may not understand what's going on because they just want to get results. But for the person who is technically trying to get this thing solved and also protecting yourself, even with artists, because I'm also in the entertainment business industry, I understand even when it comes to music, compositions, royalties, copyrights, all these things, they play a big role. You can be impersonated, you can be interpolated. There are things that can happen. So it just depends on where you actually need to see where yourself is, and then decide what do you want to do with your property and how do you want to manage it. And then from there, anything you're doing, a pest analysis, a SWOT analysis, those things will happen. And at the end of the day, you know how to really understand how to, bridge that in. So there's not much you can say, but that's the best of your ability is to know what to do best than just ignore and have an ignorant mindset about everything else. That was a great question. Thank you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because even in security, there's a big question side.
Hey, doctor, it sounds like you have it's crazy, but it sounds like you have multi-country research that you've done. Crazy. Yeah. I don't know if it's Singapore, China, and Swiss, but those are the top 3. You're really gonna dig your knuckles in there. It's crazy because I'm in South Florida. They had that big consensus conference, and they have here. Let me PTR this thing. It was just today. I'm gonna add it to one of my pictures. Hopefully, it'll come up. But there you go. In right smack dab in Miami, you have this. If you PTR. I was like, oh wow. Can you see it? I was like, wait, what? So it was pretty nuts. But is that right? Dr. Swiss, China, Singapore kind of thing?
IPTR, let's see my PTR showing AI's SEO marketing services and resources. Sorry, I couldn't see your, I think, resources.
I was saying some of your research. It sounds like you had applications. No, it's a PTR. I changed my picture to show
your
Claude.
picture, okay.
Yeah, to show Claude's big old statue logo on the corner of the street.
It looks like a Ferris wheel.
Yeah, it sounds fair to me. Like, I think they're overlapping, but they can be different. Doctor, I feel like they're overlapping, but they can be different.
They signed a joint venture between Anthropic and OpenAI, right?
Yes, and Croak as well. So
yeah, so one is Microsoft, the other one is SpaceX AI.
Yeah.
And yeah, so people think XAI and SpaceX are separate, but they have a joint holding at one point.
No, they're the same shit. Yeah, it's just dodging tax from Elon Musk, right? So I agree with all of that, but my point was about, like, how can I say that? Before Instagram,
your point was very valid. It's like you can't. It's hard for you to make a legal case on one thing versus another because you don't even know if who you're fighting against or who took your information or who you spoke to or what interacted with you is a human or a bot, and they embed so many things that it's like They have all these different programmed algorithms to do things you don't even understand or don't even know that's going on in the background when you use these applications. That's what I got from what you said. Is that not right?
Yes, that was right, but that happened in social media like Instagram, TikTok. They did the same thing, but in different level. I didn't get your like goal. To be honest, I understand what you're saying, but I don't get your goal.
I
Like,
asked you
what is the
I asked you
yeah?
earlier if you study um research in from Switzerland,
Mm.
Singapore, or China. That's what I was asking.
No, I didn't do any Switzerland or China. I did like most of my academy and like industry level in UK.
Oh, okay.
And I have this tension when I talk to like even European countries, they are so conscious about that. I work globally, by the way. I have teams in North US, Canada, and like I manage like all AI teams across the board, even Singapore.
That's what I thought. You would have had to touch
Yeah,
Singapore.
I'm touching even with clients. That's my problem because, like, if you go to France, for example, presenting a high tech thing, they're gonna freak out. And you should just not present the high tech thing. You just need to present something that okay, it's average tech. People they can tolerate it. But if you go to like massive like distributor in US that they lose maybe billions of dollars in whole US, that's massive, like grocery shop, etc. They wanna solve that problem and they gonna hug technology. They don't care what they do because they're losing billions of dollars. So it's so different from even not countries, but even the use case or clients. So I'm agreeing, I'm with you, but I feel even in that sense, Europe is like so they're changing that mindset as well. Like we had this EU AI Act that we had to be compliant, even though it's not proposed yet. But 3 years ago, like we were sitting with all European like companies, etc., leaderships, even prime ministers. Oh, AI shouldn't do that, shouldn't do that. But right now, like last week, there's a proposal. All of that gonna be postponed by 3 years because if they do it, they're gonna die. Because people are using ChatGPT, people are using like very advanced AI stuff. If you're gonna ban that, you're just gonna be like a country without any technology. So because I'm leading globally, I can see the differences as well, but not China, to be honest. Like China, we're not gonna even lead that because it's our competitor. Like even in West or even in Middle East, we are competing
What's
with
crazy
China.
is that they used Timu as a test bed, like the earlier version of Claude and bot crawling and stuff like that. By the
Mm.
time you make a purchase in your first purchase in Timu,
Mm.
they have where you live, they have what you like, they have how long you stay looking at one product versus another one. I never bought anything. I was looking at the programming of the algorithm, like how long I'll stay on one product when I click on it versus how it went by the time I click out of the product, how many more of the like product classifications that they have in the chain of items. They don't really
Yeah,
have a search
we have
bar.
to ban them. Like even America and Europe, they have to ban them. Like Same thing happened to
And it's
TikTok,
all
right?
training. It's like worse than Claude. Like, I don't think people really pay attention because you know how they say like a picture is worth 1,000 words. They're
Hmm.
watching how you treat the pictures, and the ones that catch your eye, that goes into a whole industry and a subclassification of an industry. They're looking at literally what all American and other country consumers like, what they actually convert and buy, how many holders use MasterCard, Visa, debit, or different pay advance cards or gift card. They look and they know everybody's addresses, everybody who X and Y and Z. And then as soon as you put an email address, they know if it's Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, like a corporate server. God forbid you put a corporate server on that shit. Like, and everybody's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's so true. That's so true. I'm
yeah.
not against that. You're so right. But Favor, do you want to comment on that? Like, do you advise like even companies about this stuff? Because some companies they may get quick benefits. Maybe you find out like this company gonna get some money about Temu like in 3 years, but in long term it's bad for the whole region and like
Because I was
company.
like, yeah, well, and Favor, look, I was wondering for the marketing side of everything, they like you get this close to free. And then when I click on it and I have it in the cart, they remember and then like, oh yeah, price cut this. And then they move the price up and then they cut it for a certain different price that you didn't even ask for, even.
That
That's all a
happens.
scam, right?
Things you
Another scam.
exactly. You have to really understand and see why all these things are happening and understand the basis, understand why you're actually getting those results, and then using different browsers, different tools to even access those points are very critical because you could be in a different country or different place and have a completely different response system. It could be a different language. It could be a lot of different things. So the factors are many, and even trying to protect yourself in that position is also important because all these things we're talking about, sending emails, businesses putting out things, they could be vulnerable to attack. We had a client that we had to help out because they were literally, their website got hacked for about almost 4 or 5 years and they couldn't restore anything because the files were corrupted from inside. The child theme was corrupted, things were corrupted, and you wonder how are you going to recover from things like that when you're under attack. Come to find out there were some protections that were left open because they didn't think about that, because when it happened it wasn't something to care or pay attention to, but when it happened you're like, oh wow, what do? It's already too late because it has already been crunched. So when you start fixing those things and you start going back to the back end, you wonder how do you actually fix these things when they happen? So yeah, it's very important to think about these things early so that before you deploy anything, whether it's app or web, it's safe, it's secure. There are protocols, there are positions. At least do your part. You can't control everything. Even if somebody splashes water on your face now, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna smack them? Are you gonna wave? Are you gonna wipe your face? Are you gonna smile and wave? What are you gonna do? So people are gonna react. So all these things are happening at a large capacity. And if we look at just the minute things on our own websites and see how we can just help ourselves get better in positioning, it's going to be good for us, because all these AI bots that are scanning, they're evaluating, they're reading through different data files, whether they're markdown files, whether they're dynamic files, whether they're structured marked up files. All those things are going to be put back into a source or into a server. So it's important to think about what you're giving these servers so that you don't end up being on the end of the yardstick or receiving something you didn't expect. So yeah, that's what I would definitely say on that too. Great question. And good to see you, Maria. Good to have you here. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you have a question? Do you have a thought on the topic? Flodesk, emails, AI, marketing. Let's talk about it.
Thank you, Favor. I actually, funny thing is, my knuckle hits go up, raise your hand, and I'm like, I didn't even mean to do that. Normally, I'm raising my hand in every single room for the most part. God must want me up here. I'm always testifying to what you gave me so far for homework. I am still working on it, and I also know that you are able to help do some of that for me and with me. Right now, I'm still diving into what I can do, and I love your rooms. I will ask a question. So it's been a long time since I've even touched email. I have my email list growing for my homeschool admin brand, but I always use Kit or ConvertKit, and now I'm reading this Flodesk. Like, if I'm gonna go back to using email, would you say that Flodesk would be a wiser choice than working with Kit again?
Yes. And before I give you the reasons, I would love to ask you what would be if we were to call it your top 3 goals for sending emails or receiving emails?
Definitely I'd be using them for story selling, like storytelling to lead to leads, but leads for sure, and conversion, yeah, for those things, just specifically like to pull forward the people who could use my services.
Okay. So when I look at it from the perspective of technical setup, I would go with Flodesk over Kit for the simple reason that with Flodesk, and why I've been using them since 2019 is because they partnered with Amazon SES. And Amazon SES is simple email service. So that already tells me that they focus on speed, priority, convenience. It's literally a Silicon Valley co-founded by 2 women that did this in 2018 and are rocking it out. They're doing so well. And they have so much in there that they've built into the system that allows you to even be more structural and more defined in your delivery, because you're able to actually connect with people and have a much better visual design. When I look at Kit or Mailchimp or other platforms, you may be stuck in a little box where you may have to deal with the templates or the things that you're able to set up in there. Like, I'll give you an instance. There are not many platforms that allow you to upload your own font. Flodesk allows you to upload your own font. So those are the little things that make a big difference. Your hex codes. If you have your hex codes and you have a brand, you want to put things into perspective, you want to have your palettes, you want to make sure that your emails are going out well. You also have your mail exchange records that are also done in a well-detailed manner so that you're also not high risk. It's good to be on Flodesk. On Kit, it's a great platform. They moved from ConvertKit to Kit. They even switched out their logo and everything. It's a great platform, but we moved a client from Kit to Flodesk because she was literally on average between 0.1% to about 2% click rate. And she moved from that to over 5% plus to even now to 10% with the same contacts that she had on Kit. So the problem was not the people, the problem was not the message, the problem was the technical setup. And now she's amassing in different growth mechanisms, and she's now taking that over. And she's also not spending as much money on the platform either. So there are some platforms that they ding you at some point, or at some point you have to pay more than what you're paying because your volume is higher than the average or higher than what you're paying for. And that's when you start to get into different cost estimations. So with Flodesk, that is cut off. And that changes everything for you. So I would look at it from a technical setup and a creative setup, so that if you want to send out emails that have countdowns, thumbnails, you want to do polls, you want to do segmentation, you want to send out emails and resend them after 24 hours, you want to understand how you can lower your unsubscribe rate, that's a platform to definitely work on. And I've seen clients that have 50,000 plus contacts on their list, and they're doing well because those contacts are connecting with people, and they're able to even still get the high open rates and click rates because of the technical foundation that was set. So between those two, I would give Flodesk a shot, and I'll put my link again in the chat because I've been putting it in between, and I'll put it again so that if you want to check it out, at least try it. You can get 25% off your first year with my partner link, and the link is in the chat so that you can check it out and try it on your own. It's 30 days for free, and then that way you can subscribe. Once you're in, you're able to now have a great experience, and trust me, you would not go back. I've never heard somebody told me that they went to Flodesk and they went back, and we've been giving this to clients over and over again. to the point where now it's like, okay, this is something I'm already sure of, that once you're able to use it, you'll be able to just do it and easily connect to the right people at the right time for your business over time. Does that help, Maria?
Yes, I was over there looking at it. Thank you.
Great conversation we've had today, all about Flodesk emails getting 17% more visibility than industry average, which is what they also put on their homepage. Literally on the text, on the copy, you'll see that. So if you guys want to check that out, please, the link is in the chat. If you want to connect with me, I'm here as well on Clubhouse. You can tap on my face. Or if you want to get emails like this, you can click the link above to get resources. If you want us to work to make sure that this thing is done and connect the dots, we can do that as well together. So thanks. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for being here and spending time in the marketing club today. If you have any question, please put it in the chat. If you have any topic of interest, now that I also know Tolu, you also want us to talk about Flodesk more, I'll definitely bring more topics like this. Dr. Ali, thank you for being here and joining today, because I see you have a ticket. So please make sure you cash in your ticket at the very top, so you're a house member and you're also part of conversations like this. I learned so much from you too. So thank you so much for being here. Before we go, we want to pass it around, and starting with you, Dr. Ali, and then Tolu, and then Brittany. What would your takeaway be? What would your one time, I can say, your big takeaway from the room would be, and how can people also, take the next step that they would like to based on what they've heard?
Thank you so much as well for your room. It's so informing about like different industries. Mine is about a bit like I'm learning from your room, like how other industries, because you have wide range of like different people coming up, different experiences. It gives me this like knowledge that how AI gonna adapt in future in those things, because your perspective, guys, like as a business owners or even marketing, you know about different businesses. It's so valuable that give me this knowledge about like how AI can help or cannot help. And I'm so excited about that, exploring like all businesses to understand where is downfall of AI. Let's pinpoint that. Let's target it as a new market, and it just helped me a lot in business as well as like my understanding of the whole world, like business communities. Thank you so much for running this room.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ali. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that we're able to cover this today. I'm excited. I'll definitely bring something like this back again. I hope you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? I think
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Thanks so much for your room.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Clubhouse is giving me some server error message. So I was like, I don't know if this is happening or if I'm in the matrix.
That's cloud code servers. They struggle with compute as well. So that's all right. Thanks so much for your
You're
room.
welcome. You're welcome. Awesome, guys. Thank you all for being here. This was a great conversation. Appreciate you, Dr. Fashion, Tolu. Thank you for being here and joining as well on stage, Dr. Ali, Xavier, Luan, Bridget, Coach Z, CC. Thank you for the amazing audit that you allowed us to go through today. Linka, Aline, Diane. Thank you all for being here. Mentor, I see you as well. 1KG. I see you too. Ahava, Tarof, Patai, HN, Darren. And Darren, I see you also got a balloon. So happy Clubhouse versary. Santosha, Makara, and Morade. I hope I said it correctly. Y'all appreciate it. This was a great conversation. We'll definitely be back again like this, talking about information like this. So I hope you enjoy your evening, enjoy yourself. And also, if I don't see you next time, until next time, God bless, take care, and stay hydrated and stay active and stay alert on things that are happening, and you'll definitely be ahead of the curve. So until the next time we meet, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye for now. Welcome to season 13, where you listen, you live, you learn, and you earn. A lot of information is always given on this show. So, we're in the 13th season. God has brought us so far, and I just want to thank God for the opportunity to connect with you today on such quiet, calm space like this. So thank you for listening. Know that Jesus loves you, and know that you can always connect with me on the We Don't Play Podcast show. More specifically, go to WeDon'tPlayPodcast.com, or you can go to playinc.online. That is PLAYINC.online, and get in touch with me. Let's get on a call. Let's talk. Let's focus on SEO for 2026 and beyond. So until we meet in the next episode, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and stay blessed, and stay tuned. Bye for now.